a second, and boom, you know what that means.
This shit's fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast on this beautiful Sunday. And you guys know the deal. This episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial by Seth Starnes. Take total control of your financial future. Get your free complimentary financial needs analysis today. And Matt, I tell everybody this all the time. Don't buy an off-the-rack suit. For 90% of us, it's not going to fit you 100% correctly, which hinders your riding, your body position, causes R pump, all kinds of shit, right? So I recommend everybody get with the best in the program, which is Bison. So I need everybody to go to bisontrack.com, get started on your full custom suit. While you're at it, you might as well get the custom gloves and the chest protector, the undersuit, the whole nine. But the cool thing about Bison is you pick the colors, the design, the logos, the water hump, perforation, kangaroo, all that good stuff. So bisontrack.com. But ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to finally get my man, Matt Hall, on the podcast. Welcome to Pin the Gas, Matt.
Well, thank you for having me.
It was absolute awesome because we actually met in Atlanta earlier this year, which was amazing.
Sure did. It was one of the few times I could be a spectator. A lot of times when I go to the track, I'm usually doing something. I'm helping somebody, so it's one of those rare times I get to be tourist.
Right, and get to actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy being a fan. Nothing like being a fan of the sport, right? And I have not watched the World Superbike races yet, people. I have not watched the BSB races a little bit this morning, but I actually went out and rode the 51 today for a little while. Much needed throttle therapy. Actually went out to the lake, grabbed a bite to eat, come back, and get to sit down and chat with my man Matt Hall, man, which I'm super excited about. Everybody's got their story, Matt, so I'm interested. How did your story begin with two wheels?
Oh, so that was with my dad. So my dad was big into bikes in the 80s. So he had three. So he had a Suzuki 250. I'm not sure if it was an RG. Then he had a GPZ 550 and a GPZ 750 Turbo. So, and I rode on the bike with him a lot. And then, I think it was called the Grand Prix back then. So he used to watch the Grand Prix a lot. So, and I was always enamored by Mick Doohan and how he'd ride the bike. And then, Rainey and Kevin Swan. So I was just, that's so awesome. And then my parents split in 93. So he sold his bikes then, and we didn't do much with the bikes. And then I started riding the dirt around, it was like 97, 98. And it just kind of went from there. Rode the dirt, wasn't a great dirt rider. I crashed a lot. And then I just started doing track days. I did a lot of track days, like a lot. And then knew a lot of guys that raced, and they kind of asked me the question, why don't you race? But I didn't really have a good excuse for them. It's just like, well, I don't know. So in 2021 I bought the Ducati, and in 22 we went racing.
I love it. So what took you from the dirt to doing track days? Like who got you into that?
No one did. It was so terrible at riding the dirt. And I was like getting hurt all the time. But I thought, well, it's got to be safer to ride on the track than it is the dirt. So I'm always getting hurt. Like, man, that's why both my knees are jacked up, because I hit a tabletop and just went wide open. And when I came down, I landed like on all fours, like knees and palms, and just jacked up both my knees. So I was like, well, the dirt's not for me. So let's go to the racetrack instead.
I love it. So what was your first track bike?
Oh, it wasn't even a sport bike. It was a BFR 800 that I had Frankenstein together with the help of my buddy Jamie Doherty. He was doing a lot in that world, that realm with the Interceptors. So we did I think it was a super hot front end, de-link the brakes, and like a rear shock. I was like his mule for a little while because he would do like different stuff with the shocks, and he would just send them to me like test the shock out. And sometimes it'd be good, sometimes it'd be awful. But I took that out, and it actually made a pretty good track bike. It was way underpowered though.
Oh, I mean, the VFRs is a beautiful machine anyway, right? They're a great street touring bike. Like you get on, throw some bags on, you just hit the road for hours and days, pretty much.
It it was a 2000, so it was the first year of fuel injection, and it was the 800, and it was the last year of the gear driven cams. So
Yeah.
it was like that, kind of like that unicorn year for him.
It was, and nothing like, and people, if you haven't heard a bike with gear driven cams, oh my god, they sound so good. They got this whine to them. It's just like the RC51 that me and Matt both have, right? And then the VFR, it's just got this when you blip it's this whine, and it's hard to explain. It's kind of like me and Matt are really big into Ducatis. Obviously, I got a Ducati tattoo. They've always been my favorite bike. Same thing with like the dry clutch on a duck, right? That clack, 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 clack. Same thing with the whine on gear-driven cams, which is absolutely a beautiful sound, man. It really is. And I love a twin, man. Ever since I rode my first twin, I was like, this is it. This is what I want. That insta torque, as soon as you crack that throttle, it's just gone. To me, it's like when I track or ride inline 4 fast, right? They're so loud. Like mentally, I feel like I'm doing 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? Even if you're doing 50 miles, like, it's super loud. On a twin, it's deceiving because it's not really loud. It's deep. And so you don't really feel like you're doing the speed you are, right? Which is kind of crazy, but it's all kind of psychological. Do you feel that way, Matt?
Well, so I had a 2012 CBR 600, and I had my RC 51 at the time. And when I jumped back and forth between the two bikes, I noticed I was always short shifting. So when I get on the 51, I'd run it out to 10.5. But when I get on the CBR, I'd always be short shifting it, and it just felt like a dog. And so I had to like kind of rewire the brain, think, well, okay, we're on an inline, so I got to wring its neck to get all the power out of it. But no, ever since I rode the VFR, just like you, I like the torque. I like the fact that I have torque and I can be lazy with the throttle if I want to. If I don't want to change gears, I can just be lazy and just and go. And sometimes that's good, especially on the racetrack. It's not good, but on the street, it's great. You just burr in one gear.
I love it. Burp. Great sound effects, buddy. That's freaking awesome. So what got you into Ducati? So my story with Ducatis is, obviously everybody knows I grew up in the Navy, and we was actually on base at the commissary, which is like a grocery store, right? So me and my dad would come out of the commissary, and there's a red Ducati there, and I was like, oh my god, what is that, Dad? He's like, that's a Ducati. It's the Ferrari of motorcycles. I was like, I'm gonna have one of those one day. My dad said, well, you better have a freaking good job because they're not cheap, right? But that's where my love affair started with Ducati, and I was probably 10 at the time. I forget what model it was. I mean, I'm 45, so long time ago. Long time ago. But what got you in the Ducatisti?
So I was never big into the Italian brands. I was generally stuck with Hondas and Suzuki. I was a Gixxer bro. I had a 750 back in the day, so I was definitely a Gixxer squid. And then moved to the Honda, and then from there I got the RC51, and I got to tell you a story first. So I think it was 19, 18 or 19, one of those years. I did a track day on the RC. That Sunday it started raining. I didn't want to switch to reins because there was still a dry line on track. And long story short, I crashed it in 10B. And so I went crazy with the bike, and because I knew I was going to be racing next year, I was like, I'm going to throw everything at the bike. So I'm not going to tell you how much money I spent. It was a lot. It was embarrassing. And then I decided, I'm not going to race this bike. It's too nice now. I made it way too nice. And so I got on Copart and I started looking around because I wanted to stay with the V twin. I wanted to race in heavyweight twin. So I started looking around at Copart, and I was looking at 1098s and 1198s. Well, I saw how much power the 1198 made. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to get that bike because it makes the most horsepower. And I found one in Texas. I bought it, and it's been a really interesting one. It's actually right over there, but yeah, I had to put a ton of work into it. It had front end damage, so I had to rebuild the whole front end. I didn't even know if it ran because this was my first Ducati. I didn't realize the dash, the ECU, and the key are all synced up as one. So I bought a dash off of eBay, put it on there, and then the bike just locked up. It was like, nope, I'm not going to run for you. So went back to eBay, bought an S model ECU dash and key, not realizing my bike's a base model. So I threw all that stuff on. It ran, but now it's freaking out because it thinks it has like lambda, traction control, all this stuff, and it doesn't have any of it. So now it's like really like screwed up. So I really didn't do it much justice when I first got it. That's pretty much the Ducati story, how I got into it. My buddy Jamie's got one, and he was talking about how awesome it is, the trellis frame, and I like the way they look. And I've always liked the dry clutch. Like this, it's beautiful music. Just love that dry clutch sound.
It is absolutely a gorgeous. My first Ducati was a 748. I had a 05 636 Mint. And I went by this shop. It's no longer here no more. And I went in there because I seen it sitting on a parking lot. I was like, dude, I gotta check this thing out. Pulled up in there. There's a guy in there that wanted to sell it to the shop because he wanted a 636. So I pull up in there. I'm hearing the guy talk. So he comes out in the parking lot. I'm like, hey man, I'm Simcoe, blah, blah, blah. Nice bike, dude. I always wanted one. He's like, dude, I want your bike. And I was like, I'll trade you. Just like bullshit, right? He said, okay. And I wait, what did you just say? He's like, okay. So I went to my house, got my title. He went to his house, got his title, and we swapped the roo.
Dude, that is awesome.
Oh, bro, it was absolutely amazing. After that, I kept it. I had it for about 2 years. Never had any issues with it at all. The horror stories, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I took it down to, I always mess with the Duck Pond in Winchester. No, I know Donnie, called Donnie up. It's like, hey man, I got the 748. The doctor said he had the cam belts and shit done, blah, blah, blah. It was my first one. So I want to make sure everything's okay. Took it down there, did the service, the whole nine. It was about $1,000. Like I said, kept it for about 2 years. Rode by this other shop. The guy had just traded in a 996. And I was like, bro, I gotta get this 996. So I traded the 748 in on the 996. And then I got a 1098S. And then once my son was born, I kept the 1098 for, I don't know, maybe a year after my son was born, and sold it to help with the house, right? Like, being an adult, got to get a house and yada, 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 all that stuff.
Responsibilities suck.
Yeah, it does, bro. It does. Dude, to be honest with you, man, I love the 1098, but I miss the 996 more than anything. It's such an iconic bike.
The 848 to me seems like the perfect race bike. They didn't have all the geometry issues that the 1098 and the 1198 had. That was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome. Was we could never figure out why the bike just wouldn't. It turned like a dump truck. Like it would not track at all. And I mean, I would kill myself in an 8-lap sprint just to try to keep the bike online and keep it from not running wide or just understeering or anything like that. And it's such a pain in the ass.
It did, dude. It is, it's, and I thought it was going to be, oh man, this is it. It's going to handle real good. And it really didn't. You're right. It was finicky at best. It either understeered or as soon as you crack the throttle, wanted to push the front and run wide all the time. And I'm like, no matter what I try to do with the rod on the back, putting more weight on the front, dropping it, nothing seemed to help. Right. I know when I got it, man, I did the full 70 millimeter Turamagi super bike exhaust with the Racing Kid ECU. Man, that son bitch was $7,200 just for the exhaust, which is fucking goddamn retarded, right? It sounded good. Oh my god, it did not sound good. It was so deep. It was I pinched the tit every time I fired it up. Put it that way, right? Like like most Ducatis, even the RC51. So yeah, it's I do miss my 996, man. I miss that. It was uncomfortable as shit. Don't get it twisted. It was really uncomfortable, but when you rode that bike, man, it's like you kind of felt like a superstar in a way, right? It's hard to explain. And the thing that I miss about it is so easy to work on. Like I could have the gas tank and all the body work off within like 4 minutes. I mean, it was twist, 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 boom, 1, 2 screws, whatever it is, and it's done. Right now on the new bikes like the 1098, I'm spending a half a day freaking taking all these little 3mm Allen bolts out of every freaking fastener underneath the fairing. I take this and do this. I was like, dude.
And Ducati makes them out of aluminum, so you go to stick a steel tool into it and just strip the head. Oh, I dealt with that on the B4. I was about ready to just like set that thing on fire.
I know. So the trick that I learned that I do, because I have an 848, I got an EDR 848 race bike. It's got Zeus fasteners on it now, but all my stock Ducatis, well, besides even the 748, it had a couple Zeus fasteners, but all those freaking aluminum bolts, I put Teflon tape on them because they always vibrated out and you'd miss them. I'm like, where the hell did my screws go? Right? They're somewhere. So my buddy's like, put Loctite. I'm like, you don't want a Loctite aluminum bolt in a steel.
Yeah.
That's not good. You're gonna have fun with your drill or an easy out all day long, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put Teflon tape because it's not super strong. It won't strip it out. It'll hold them in there. So it's just a little trick along the way that I do. My 848 now currently needs a motor. So I had the money. Okay, Matt, I had the money, right? And then I get on Facebook Marketplace and I see this 03 Mint RC51 with like 15,400 miles on it. And I'm like, dude, how much do you know? He wanted, I think, $7,500 for it. So I call him up. He was in Eden, North Carolina. We went back and forth. I rode out there and see it. And yeah, bye 848 motor. Hello, RC51, right?
Man, it's crazy what they're selling those things for. Like I bought mine back in like 2012 for like $3,200. And it was like, whoa, that's a lot of money for this bike. And now like I saw like marketplace ads selling these bikes for like 15 grand. It's like, what the hell are you people thinking?
Well, the market on them went up. You know, it's just like if you go out and you find a Mint ZX7R or an older, Sarad Gixxer 750, you're going to pay $8-9 grand for a decent one with less than 20,000 miles on it because they're very hard to find and they're super popular. I think with the 51, the 51 is such an iconic bike, meaning that a lot of people don't know the history. So real quick history, when Honda was getting their ass handed to them by Ducati back in the day on the RC45, they're like, you know what? We're going to build a purpose-built V-twin to beat Ducati at their own game, hence the RC51. They only made it for 6 years, right? It was one of the most dominant Honda bikes for the year span that it was actually made. Won 2 World Superbike titles, a bunch of Suzuki 8 Hours, club races. I mean, AMA, Nicky Hayden. And then, yeah, obviously they replaced it with the CBR 1000. But to me, the RC51 is the best built bike because when they built that bike, they got with HRC and they built that bike together solely to beat Ducati. And it's the only Honda out there, when you take off the side fairings, the side cases are actually stamped HRC,
yep.
Right? Which is a huge deal, right? If you're a real big fan of Honda, I mean, that's the cream of the crop, no bullshit. This is it, right? And I think because Hayden died and they only made it for 6 years and they're super rare and super hard to find, if you find a clean one with even with less than 30,000 miles, yeah, you expect to pay at least $6,500 for it. Unless somebody really just needs the money and they want to get rid of it, you might get away with 55 or 5, but that's going to be very, very rare. And if you do, it's probably going to have a lot of damage on it as far as body work and blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah, you got to think these bikes are so old now. A lot of the body work, original body work, you can't find it anymore. So a lot of people are putting Chinese stuff on it. So half the body work's cracked or doesn't fit right. And I kind of wish I kept the body work off mine now, but because I got rid of all the stock body work to a buddy of mine who needed it. And now all I got is race body work on it. So I'm kind of screwed in that aspect.
Yeah. And even if you find an original OEM like fairing that has no scratches on it, you're going to pay $1,000 for it or more. A gas tanks, just get out of here. It's retarded. But that's
Dude,
what makes it. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got tell you a cool story. So I was perusing Marketplace again, and there's a guy on the RC group here in Atlanta or Lawrenceville or wherever. He had a carbon fiber tank for an RC51, and it was like stupid amount of money. It was like I think like $1,900. It's stupid.
That's my son Rossi right there. He said, "Daddy, I brought you a snack." He brought me some Cheez-Its.
I ate some.
Thanks,
That's
bud.
the
I'm
best
not going
kind
to
of
eat while I'm
snack.
doing a podcast, but I appreciate it, homie. Because I'm not going to sit here and chew on a microphone, and dude, nobody wants to hear that. But I thank you and I love you.
Crunch.
Yeah, y'all ready for some crunch time? Dude, I seen that tank on Marketplace,
Dude.
and I was like, "Bro, I need this." And I seen the price. I was like, "Yeah, I don't need this. I don't."
Well, I see. This is why I'm financially irresponsible. So I saw
You got it.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I'll take it. And I bought it. I even put it on the bike for like a day or two and started up, made sure it all worked. And now I've got a carbon fiber tank sitting in my closet. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it because I'm not gonna put it on the track and crash because I'm really good at that.
Right, that'd be a good wall art, right? Let's just be honest. Hang it up, decorate it, throw HRC sticker on, hang it on a wall, man. So my RC51, it's a 03. It had 15,400 miles. I gave the guy $6,500. That's what I paid for it. Since then I did, I mean, you know, like I do with all bikes, I got to do the keyless gas cap, clip-ons, rear set, reverse shifter. You got to make it economical for you to fit the bike, right? To be comfortable riding it. And then, of course, I did the Brembo RS19 Master. I did the Magera clutch, which, by the way, Matt, was probably the best mod I put on was that Magera clutch master, because it's like I could literally take my pinky and just pull it in. At first, when I put it on the bike, I'm like, and I'm bleeding it, right? I'm like bleeding the slave cylinder. I'm like, in the master, I'm like, dude, is it even working? That's how light of a pull it was. I was like, I don't think this thing's working. Well, let me try it, because I had solid fluid coming out of everywhere, right? Turn the key on, pulled the clutch in, put it in gear, didn't lunge forward, you know, none of that crap. I was like, oh my God, it's working. Like, this is absolutely amazing mod right here. Yeah, tires, brakes, stainless steel clutch line, blah, 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 all that nazi, you know, stuff you normally do, double bubble windscreen, which I was lucky to. I wanted a clear one, but I ended up getting, I'm trying to remember the brand of it. I bought 2 double bubble windscreens, brand new, sealed in the package for $30. I mean, you can't beat that. I was like, okay, it's not pitch black. It's a smoke, but it's a light smoke, right? Everybody prefers it clear, but yeah, it's what a beautiful machine. Every time I open the garage, I'm like, oh my God, it moves you in a way that a lot of other bikes don't. You know, every time you see RC fit. Matter of fact, real quick, Matt, before you say anything, I'm coming home because I went on a ride today. Throttle therapy, baby, and I'm speeding. I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of it because it's hard not to.
In Mexico, of course. In Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, I'm speeding in Mexico, and yeah, so I look in my rearview mirror and there's a cop right behind me. I was like, "Fuck, Simcoe, you dumbass, dude! Like, what are you doing, man? Come on, man!" And he pulls up beside me at the stoplight. He's like, he rolls down his window. He looks at me. He says, "Dude, nice bike, bro. You don't see the 51 around here like ever, dude. I love that bike. They're so sweet." I was like, "Bro, thank you so much." He's like, "How many miles that thing got on?" I said, "It just turned 16,000." He was like, "Dude, enjoy yourself. Have fun. I'll see you around. And don't speed." I was like, "I got you, bro. I appreciate you." Right.
Nice.
But that's one thing with the 51, man. Every time I take it out, like, even my buddy's got 1199, a white one, which is absolutely mint, right? And we'll go out riding wherever we go, restaurant, gas station, wherever we're at. There's always a crowd around the 51. Nobody pays attention to the 1199. They're always asking me, "Where'd you get the 51?" Or they have no fucking idea what the 51 is. They're like, "What the hell kind of Honda is this?" And then when you fire it up, they're like, "Whoa, like I was not expecting that," right? And yeah, so it's man, I love my 51. I love my 51.
That's me. So we'll show up at the racetrack, and I'll pull. You know, if I bring the 51 out, I'll pull the 51 out, and I'll set it off to the side. Then I'll get the 1198 out, and we'll start setting up. dude, I've had people come up taking pictures of the bike, looking at it like, oh my god, man, this bike's awesome. Like, hey, check out this 1198. They don't care. It's just they're just all about that. And I took the I was at Roebling. I took the belly pan off, so I was going to go tech it, and then I ended up not racing the bike because I think it was 22. I was really wanting to win that heavyweight title, so I was like, well, I'm going to stay on a bike that's got all the horsepower. So everybody was coming around, and like one guy was checking out. So I got front mount radiators on it, so everybody was taking pictures of the radiators. They're seeing how it's set up, and then there's the exhaust too. I've got the replica Kropovich from when Colin Edwards raced in World Superbike. I've got that exhaust on it. And they're checking out that, and they're just like, oh my god, this is awesome. So everywhere that bike goes, brings a crowd.
It does. So the exhaust that I have on mine, which is rare, you don't even see them. Like even at my buddies, they all went to Pig Fest, and not one RC51 out of the 40 or 50 there has it. It's got the 2-in-1 Jardine full system.
Jardine.
Yes.
Dude, Jardine and Honda have been around since like early AMA days. Every Honda you saw had a Jardine on it.
That's it. So what I did is I took the canister off, the Jardine canister. My buddy had an Aprilia Tuono, bought this full Graves titanium system for blah, blah, blah. He sold the bike and he gave me the exhaust, not the headers, but the canister, right? And I was like, because I was just going to hang it up. I was like, dude, if you just because he was like, man, I don't want it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I was like, well, I'll just take it. I'll give you whatever you want for it. He's like, dude, Simcoe, just take it. I don't care. So I bring it home. I take the Jardine off and I measure the header, right? And I measure I'm like, this son of a bitch will fucking fit right on. So
nice.
I had to cut because the way the Graves, the way the pipe come out, it actually made this curve. So I had to cut it off where it curved. So it was just straight. Dude, slipped it straight on, and it totally changed the sound. Like it sounds like a little mini V8. So bop, bop, bop. Oh my God, it sounds so good. Yeah, man. The next mod I'd like to do to it is get a set of rear sets. I did the reverse shifter, which if you don't know, if you have an RC51, buy a VFR 750 shifter pedal, and there you go. You got a reverse shifter on it, right? And I'm thinking I'm gonna get Woodcraft because I want to support Eric. Give me a set of Woodcraft rear sets. It's only $250.
Well, do you got a quick shifter on yours yet?
No.
Oh, dude, that's like so I was having issues down at 10A when I go to brake. The back end would lock up all the time because I'm going from 6th to like 2nd. So I ended up doing a Yo-Yo-Dyne slipper, and with the quick shifter and a shift detent, the shift kit with the shift star. I did that. Oh my god, dude! Oh, that bike shifts so good, and it's just it's enough to give you some wood. It's awesome.
I love it. That's something I would love to do with mine is put a slipper clutch in it. How much was the slipper clutch? Like $1,000?
Yeah, I think it was about $9,000 or $1,000. But that came with all the plates, all the springs, everything. So that was the whole kit. The shift detent wasn't that much, or shift star wasn't that much. It was only like $70, but you got to pull the clutch out of it to do that. So that's a pain. I had Hippie down at RSS do that. Yeah. And the rear set, or not rear set, but the quick shifter. That was easy to do. I have Satos on my bike, and I'll tell you right now, dude, you better wear pants pushing that thing around because my calves have been cut up so many times because you'll go to push the bike in the trailer and you just touch it, and it's like those little nubs are so sharp. They cut the hell out of you.
I could only imagine, man. Yeah, dude, it's dude, I feel like me and you could just sit here and talk about the 51 all day long. It's such
all day,
bro, all day long. What so let me ask you this before we change subject. What all do you have done to the 51?
Oh,
mine does have a Power Commander 5, and I actually got an auto tuner for it, and I hadn't put the auto tuner on because I don't want to drill a hole in my Jardine exhaust to put the O2 sensor in it, right? You got to have the bung welded in on. I really don't want to do that. right? So it's brand new. So if anybody out there wants an auto tuner, hit me up. I'll hook you up. Not free, of course, but it'll be cheap. So yeah. So what you got done to yours?
So whenever we crashed or I crashed, it didn't do that much damage. It's just a left side. So I ended up blowing the whole bike apart. I mean, the only thing that was attached to it was engine and frame. We even yanked the swing arm off it and did an SP2 swing arm. It's got Core Zero wheels on it. It's got T-Drive Brembo front brakes. It's got the GP4 front calipers, Corsa Corda Master front mount radiators. It's got the CBR stick coils. That guy from Canada, the is it DHC? It's got his snorkel on it, the race style, so it's smooth. Saddle rear sets. It's got Scott Wolf's hidden hanger fairing stay. If you ever seen one of those, that's awesome. It goes in behind the gauge cluster. And like the stock fairing hanger, it mounts to the tank, then goes around. His mounts behind and comes up. So there's no fairing stay in your way, which is great because I run a steering stabilizer on top of the clamp that always interfered with the fairing stay. So I actually had to cut that bar out to make it work. What else? Mine's got the PC5 on it too. I didn't do the auto tuner for the simple fact was I took it down to Huff in Sugarloaf or Sugar Hill Spring. Yeah. And he tuned it and the exhaust already had the bungs in it. But yeah, it's got that exhaust on it I told you about. Yeah, the clip-ons. It's got, Brembos on both ends of the clip-ons. The Corsa Corda or Corda Corsa, however it is, that is the best master cylinder ever made. Like that dude, that bike, like at Road Atlanta, like pinned, like you can brake at like the 3 board and have that thing just standing on its nose. It's just like, it's magic. What else? I'm sure it's got a bunch of other little stuff on it, but like the bike, so I ripped the harness out. And this was a big deal because I ended up destroying like 3 harnesses trying to do this. We gutted the harness. I actually laid it out on this table and I had a wiring diagram, the HRC harness, and we ended up pulling out every wire we didn't need. That was a pain. And we did that. So it's got the HRC harness in it, or replica. The bike only weighs, so I was actually really proud of this. When we scaled the bike with a full tank of fuel, the bike like was in the 390s. It was like 398 or 399. So
holy shit.
Yeah, I was really proud of that. But a lot of trick parts to get it there.
That's one thing I tell everybody. If you have a motorcycle, hands down, in my opinion, the best mod you can do is a set of aftermarket rims because it's sprung and unsprung weight. You lose a ton of weight. It accelerates better. It handles better. Your suspension will be out of whack because of the weight, so you need to have it readjusted. But it's to me, that's the best bang for the buck out of doing motor work and the exhaust and all this shit, right? Is a set of rims. You can't beat the performance on them.
Dude, those wheels are so light. Like when I went from the stock wheels to those, it was ridiculous. The only thing, like, it's not direct drive like you'd see like on a GP bike. It's got like the little cushions, little round cushions, but like it took some getting used to because it's not like a stock bike where you got tons of cushions, so you can just really ham fist it with the throttle. But that took a lot to get used to. It's got a TTX on the rear and it's got Öhlins cartridges in the front that Thermos man ended up doing. The bike's got everything. It's too nice to race now. Like I got a buddy William down in Savannah. He's got a 51, and when I first met him, it's like, dude, that bike's awesome because I got to go check out other people's 51s. So I bring mine down. We ended up racing together, which was it's kind of a shit show because I jumped the start. He can launch a bike just amazing, by the way. So he's going, doing like the coolest wheelie ever, Tim. And he's gone. He's out of there. And then we end up catching him because his bike overheated. So now I'm leading. Now I'm just, it's running great. I'm doing great. And then where my oil catch can is. It's right there by the ignition plug for the power commander. So it was spitting out oil fumes, which got in the connector. So about lap like 4 or 5, it starts missing really bad. So then, of course, I drop all the way back down because it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like,
You're like, son of a bitch.
oh, dude, I was so mad in that race.
I meant to ask you, man, that's something I would love to do is put the front radiators on instead of the side mount radiators. What does that actually consist of doing?
It's quite a bit of work, actually. So there's a guy in Italy, he custom builds them. And yeah, when he sends it to you, he doesn't send you any directions. So you got to get on what I did was I got on Google and Googled it up. And I was eventually said, well, screw this. And took it down to Hippie at RSS in Gainesville. And he's dealt with those bikes before in the front mount stuff. So he took it and installed it all. And then when I went to go pick it up, he's like, yeah, this was the bitch. But dude, like, you know how your 51 gets hot, right? You'll sit at a light and you'll get like 200, 210, like that.
217, dude. My freaking legs on fire. I'm like, God damn it, come on, let's go.
Yeah, that bike, I've been the first one out on sighting lap, and I'll be like the first one on the grid, and that thing will sit there. I had idle at like 170. They're great, and that's no radiator fans. It's awesome. The radiators are massive on it too now.
I need to. That's something I need to do. You'll have to, after the podcast, if you guys that got that guy's info, I need to hit him up because I would love to do that. Regardless if I keep it or not, I would like to. Yeah, because it makes a world of a difference. The side radiator fans, it was a great idea. I get it. Keep the front, all that down, but yeah, it sucks ass riding that thing on the street just because it gets so hot. Like it's constantly 205, 208. At stoplight, it's 218, and you just like a Ducati, bacon, straight up bacon, yep. Right? So it's yeah, man. Good. Go ahead.
I also have a Milwaukee thermostat delete too. I couldn't use it with the front mounts for whatever reason. I've got one of those laying around in one of my shelves, and it's like I had to dude, the guy I bought that off of, I had to just pound on his door every day because he's like, I got one, I might sell it. So I was like, I want it. I mean, I was sending this guy DMs every day to get this guy to sell it to me. And I think I just beat him into submission on it. He's like, fine, here, take it. Just buy it. Take it. Get out of my life.
Get out of my life.
That would work on your bike.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it for sure. We will after the pod. Bro, this is absolutely amazing. So let's get into back to your racing. Tell everybody where you race, what class you race in, and where they can find you at the track.
Okay, so we race at Wera, the Southeast. So, and last year we were doing heavyweight twins in Formula One. This year I haven't really done any race. I haven't done any racing period except endurance racing. I went to focus on endurance racing because I just love endurance. It's a challenge. But so we raced in the Southeast at Road Atlanta, Roebling, CMP, Tally, and Barber. That's our main tracks that we race at.
And where are you located at?
Oh, Lula, Georgia. It's this tiny little town with a massive population of 2,800 people.
I love it, dude. I love it. Well, listen, next time you go to Road Atlanta, man, let me know. I'll meet you down there. It's only a 6-hour drive from my house.
We are going to be down there at the end of this month because we were supposed to be. So, man, I was kind of dreading doing this today because we were supposed to be in Pittsburgh on Saturday for the endurance race. And then I was going to have to cannonball back here and then sleep for a little bit, then get up and do the podcast. But something happened to Daniel. He ended up, something happened to his trailer. He ended up cooking a bearing or a brake and ended up getting his hand crushed ultimately. Oh, no. And that kind of killed So yeah, give Daniel Bocook some love because that crushed his hand and really jacked him up. So that killed our weekend. So we didn't end up going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, have you ever been to Pittsburgh? It's a beautiful track. Dude, awesome track. Yeah. Awesome. The chicane sucks. I hate the chicane. Other than that, everything else is awesome.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, Daniel Bocook, man, he's absolutely an amazing human being and a good friend, man. He's Yeah, man, that sucks. So Daniel, get well soon, man. Yeah, it sucks when shit happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last year was
so
really good for us racing. Yeah.
I'd love to get into some endurance racing. Like I said, I need to, man, I need to get the motor done on my 848. And I called down there at EDR because I'm friends with John, one of the head mechanics down there, and he told me it'd be about $5,500 to send my motor there, them do it and send it back. And I'm like, God damn, 55. So I saved it. I had it, but I bought an RC51 because it was always one of my dream bikes, man. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have one. I gotta have one, right? So I made an adult kind of decision, right? Do I want to get my motor done, which I don't do a whole lot of track days anyway, like maybe a couple a year, and it just sit in my living room or my garage, or do I want to buy something I can actually ride and enjoy for now? So.
Dude, anything Ducati is expensive. Like I learned that quick. Like that whole debacle with the ECU, the 1198S ECU. I ended up having to buy a Motec ECU because the bike was so screwed up, it wouldn't rev above 8,500. Like I was going to the track, like this is how irresponsible I am. I put this bike together. We missed Cycle Jam, but the next one, was like Barber, I think. So I rode the bike for about 10 minutes up and down the neighborhood. And I was like, it's great. And I threw it on the trailer and we went to Barber. And then I found that out at Barber and I was like, oh, this sucks.
I can't go past 8,500 RPM, right? Yeah, that's the thing about Ducatis, man, is they are super expensive. Not only that, the maintenance is expensive when you take it to what I call the stealerships, right? It's like, dude, the 1098, the first service at 600 miles, because it was cam belt then, right? It was, I think it was like 600 miles I had to take it in. Dude, the first service was like $2,200. I was like, get the fuck out of here, $2,200. And bitch, all you do is change the oil and look over all the fasteners or whatever it is you do. And Donnie was like, nah, man, we change the radiator fluid. We do all this. I'm like, why you got to change radiator fluid on a bike with 600 miles on it? Like, I don't get it. But apparently they do all this shit, right? But $2,200 and I just paid $27,000 for the bike. It's like, bro, come on, man.
It's ridiculous.
So it is.
Well, I did the Desmo service on mine at the beginning of 22 because I was like, well, I'm going to be racing it hard. And of course, I bought this bike used out of Copart, so I had no idea what I was getting. I was actually pretty lucky, really. But we ended up doing the Desmo service on it, and I about fell on the floor whenever it was like, oh, by the way, here's your $1,500 bill. It's like, what? Like, that's just for belts?
Dude, it's so they when I took my 748 in, it was like like right under $1,000 to do the belts and adjust the valves, and I needed a clutch for it, right? And they're like, yeah, that'd be extra $1,500 to for the clutch and to put it in. I'm like, dude, I'm not paying you to put the clutch. I can put the clutch in. That's fucking easy as hell, right? So I bought the clutch. It was whatever, $500, whatever it is. I put it in myself, but it's just it's ridiculous how expensive they are, but it is what it is, right? That's why you don't see a lot of them running around. Or you'll see a lot of used ones right when the service is due, because they'll call the dealership, I think. They'll say, how much is my service? You're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, $3-4 grand for the major service. They're like, no, absolutely not.
Wow. I see a lot of them at Starbucks, man. Starbucks are in someone's living room, which I can't talk. Mine's sitting in my living room now, so I guess I just need a Starbucks.
Mine's sitting out in the garage right now, man. And every time I go out there, I sit on her and talk to her and give her a big old hug. But I got it. So I bought that bike from a buddy of mine, and he was actually trying to trade it straight up for a Ninja 300. And he called me. He's like, yeah, man, I got my 848, dude. I want to trade for a 300. And I was like, whoa. You want to do what? He's like, yeah, I just want a 300. I just want a 300. I want to get rid of it. And I was like, well, I'll buy it from you. He's like, okay. So we made a deal, blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting it from him. And he claimed, but before I did it, he's like, yeah, this is the EDR race bike. And I was like, and he showed me a picture of it. I was like, ain't no way this is that bike, right? Because it had race body work, but it was just different, right? So I took the VIN number and called down there. I was like, hey, I'm Simcoe. This guy's trying to sell me this 848. He claims it's an X EDR race bike. This is the frame number, the VIN. And the guy comes back. He's like, absolutely, that's our bike. And he actually sent me the full spec build sheet. That's a $52,000 motorcycle build out in the garage. There's $14,000 for the bike. It had like, dude, it retarded aftermarket. Dude, it's got the Marchesini forged rims, upgraded Brembo brake calipers all the way around. The ABA full floating race rotors. It's got a matrix rear shock with the hydraulic spring preload. You just put a wrench on it, you turn it, and automatically adjusts your spring preload. It has the matching steer stabilizer. It's got GP Tech front end. It's got the it's got the real European quick turn throttle, race throttle. It's got the Starlink on it. It's got the Samco's hit on it. It's got titanium axle. Titanium bolt. Dude, it's got $4,000 in titanium bolts on alone. It's fucking retarded, dude. It don't weigh, like when you sit on it, you're moving around, it feels like it's a BMX bike. It's retarded. So yeah, I bought, needless to say, as soon as they said that and they sent me the sheet, I was like, absolutely, I'm gonna buy this bike. Like today, let's go. So yeah, it breaks.
Sorry, kids, you ain't going to college today.
Right. That was in the next 4 years. You're not going.
That's what my wife says, with the RC. Like, I've spent so much money on it. She's like, that's our kids' college fund. So, well, guess what? I'm going to dealership and buying a new one. Better get the Hope grant.
Right? Hey, kids, you better do good in school. That's all I'm gonna say. You better do good in school. My whole thing is like, okay, I know this is off the subject, but like college real quick, right? It's I've had a lot of my friends and a lot of their friends, they'll get out of high school, they'll go to college, they spend fucking $100,000, whatever it is, college is, and then when they get out, they don't even fucking do the job that they went to college for, right? And now you're stuck paying $800 a month payment on $100,000 or whatever it is, and it's going to take you pretty much the rest of your life to even pay the fucking thing off, and you're not even doing what you did when you went to college. So, and nowadays, does it really matter if you go to college to help you get a job? Because the way the world is, it's like,
dude, there's so many so you speak. It's funny you mentioned that. Like my son Jacob, he wants to be an engineer. Like that's what he's been saying for years, and he wants to be an engineer. So that right there, that job path, absolutely. Go to college, get your engineering degree, whatever you need to do to get it. Absolutely. But like all these other degrees they have out there, it's just stupid. Like the amount of money you'll put yourself into debt for to get this worthless degree or degree you're not going to use, it's just dumb. Like it depends on what you're good at. If you're good with your hands, go get into a trade, go learn a trade. There's a lot of money being made out there without the involvement of college. I've never been to college. I've always, been good with my hands, and I've just went that route.
Yeah, me too. I went to MMI, but that's not really a college. It's like a trade school, right?
Yeah.
Because I got tired of taking my bike to the deal. So what did it for me, Matt, is I bought, when I was 16, I didn't get a car. I bought a motorcycle. I wanted a motorcycle, right? So I bought a 1996 brand new ZX6 off the showroom floor. I paid shit back then. It was like $5,800, brand new off the showroom floor, 0 miles on it, right? Red, firecracker red. Never forget it, man. God, I love that bike. Actually, I still know the guy that has my old bike, lives in Alexandria, and I'm trying to get it back from him. But anyway, so I work, obviously. So I saved up my money and I bought a full Muzzy pipe header, a jet kit, an ignition advancer. Yes, they used to have a thing called ignition advancer. Right. No, dude, it sounds so good, right? So I K&N filter, all this shit. So I took it to my local dealership. They had this son of a bitch for 2 weeks, and I'm calling them like, is my bike done? Is it ready? Like, I want my shit back. I want to ride. So finally, after X amount of weeks, they call me up. They're like, look, we can't get the bike running. We don't know like what. I said, look, check it out. Leave it alone. Don't even put it back together. I'm just going to come get it. I'm not going to pay you the full bill because you didn't do what I asked you to do, but I'd pay you for whatever work you did, which pretty much take it apart. They didn't even drill out the fucking holes for the fuel mixture screws. They didn't even attempt to put the jet kit in. Okay, so hold up. So I get my bike back. This was before YouTube and all that shit. While I'm there, I said, I'd like to order a shop manual. a full factory Kawasaki from Kawasaki shop manual, right? And that cost me like $150 back then. It was expensive as shit. So anyway, I get the manual, bring the bike home, bike's home, wait on the manual, get here, got the manual, sat out my garage one Saturday and did it all myself. Every fucking thing. Drilled out the fuel mixer screws, put the jet kit in, the ignition advancer, the K&N filter, all this shit, the pipe, the header, all this. Got it running, wrote it out there that night. And they're like, who did the work on the bike? I said, me. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I will never ever bring my bike back to any dealership in the world ever again. Now I have just for my Ducati for the valve adjustment. Other than that, I do it all myself. Or I know a lot of people in the industry, I'd be like, hey, I need some help with this, blah blah blah, I'll ship it out or whatever, right? To me, dealerships are just ridiculous. Now, I don't know if it is where you are in Georgia, but here in Virginia, if your bike is 10 years or older, they won't even fuck with it. They won't even change the oil in it. They're like, no,
yeah,
sorry.
Same way here.
Which
that's
it hurts the
I had
industry.
A 500. Dude, I had an 86 500. I got a nice little horror story. So I had an 86 500, and the tank was just rusted out on it. It was bad. It was clogging up the carbs. You know, on the V4s, like the carbs are a nightmare to take off. So I take it up to Tacoma Motorsports, and they had the bike for like 2 weeks. And every time I call, I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? No, nothing. You know, this guy, he's not here. He's on vacation. This guy's over here. This guy's up his ass. You know, never could get a straight answer. And I just drove up there one day, which was from our house at the time was like a 40-minute drive. I just drove up there, and the damn thing was sitting outside. And this is a pristine 500 too. It's never been outside since I've had it, and it's just sitting out there. And it's like, wait a minute here. I thought you guys were supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Oh yeah, you know, we just pushed it out there. Like, no, you didn't push it out there because I could see rust on the rotors where it's been sitting. So I flipped my lid. Like, I'm surprised I didn't go to jail. So I was just yelling at the people in the dealership. So I took the bike back that day. I didn't have any straps there. I had to go to the parts store, buy some straps, threw it in the back of the truck, drove it home, and then I got on YouTube and figured out how I could remove the rust and then coat the inside of the tank on that bike. And then I talked to Jamie about something with the petcock, like cutting out the diaphragm so it's like constant fuel flow. It was, yeah. So I feel you on that, dude. So these dealerships, man, they've gotten ridiculous. They just want new bikes in there. They just want to be able to, turn some wrenches, change some tires. Here you go. Have a great day.
Yeah, there is no more. Now you bring especially a bike with a carburetor. I bet you there's 90% of the mechanics in dealerships right now can't even fucking work on a carburetor.
No, I doubt it.
It's all fuel injected, right? And back to what I was saying, I think when dealerships are doing that, man, it hurts the sports bike community. It hurts the community altogether because who the hell can go out and afford a $30,000 brand new bike? Not me, right? And if you're not mechanically inclined and don't know the know-how or the tools or somebody that does, you're fucking stuck. You got a bike that you can't even ride, right? Much less that nobody wants to work on it because it's 10 years or older, which I think is a bunch of bullshit, straight up. And what that tells me, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that what tells me is the mechanics that they have in there. Not all of them, because there are some old school mechanics that fucking pretty much do anything, but all the newer generation of mechanics, they're just solely fuel injected. You fucking plug it in, get on the laptop. Okay, this is what it's saying. Do hit enter, boom, unplug it. Couple pieces of body work. That's $1,500. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, that hurts the industry, because you think about it this way: you get a brand new guy, he's just like, I want to own a bike, whatever bike it is. And he walks in the dealership, he buys the bike, and then, all right, go ride the bike. You got to bring it in for your break-in. Like my 23 V4, did the break-in service. Call them up, and it's like, yeah, that's going to be $850 to do the break-in service. It's like, what? What do you do? Oh, we changed the oil, we reset the light on it, and we go through the whole bike. It's like, you're telling me for what? I can inspect the bike myself. Like, I just want the light off. Well, it's going to be $850. So that, a new guy that does that goes out and buys the bike, spends all the money, and then all of a sudden now he's having to pay tons of money just to get the light turned off, the service light, get a little bit of oil. Like, dude, That's ridiculous. I mean, you could buy modal you can buy the most expensive modal oil and filter and only be like $100 into an oil change. Like,
Yeah,
quit trying to rip these guys off.
Well, we go over the whole bike. I'm like, well, what do you take all the fairings off of it and inspect the radiator? I mean, I'm confused on what it is you're doing when you do that, right? There's no service $850 for your first 600 miles, especially to change your oil and tire pressures, chain slack. Like I feel like if you're going to own a motorcycle, anybody out there that's listening to this, man, just look it up on YouTube. Do your own chain maintenance. Learn your bike. Learn to work on it yourself, right? Go out and go buy the tools. It'll save you a lot of money. And now you're intimate with your motorcycle. So you become more one with it, right? You know the ins and outs. And if something happens, I mean, dude, let's just be honest. When people go, oh, it's a valve adjustment, it's this, it's that, it's so tedious. I'm like, a valve adjustment is not tedious. It's a bitch sometimes, depending on what the bike it is, because you got to take a bunch of shit off of it. But the actual top dead cylinder, rotate 180, top dead cylinder, rub uncheck, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy, right? And the shims, to measure the shims, and it's all on YouTube. It's pretty easy to do if you have any mechanical inclination with you. It's none of it's really rocket science. Now on your Ducati, with all these, the only thing a new Ducati don't do is pretty much I want to will blow you, right? That's the only thing this bike's not going to do, because it's got every goddamn sensor and all this bullshit on it. So yeah, I see where you have to take it into a dealership with all that, because now they force you to, without being a dealership, you don't have the Ducati program. I can't buy it. You can't buy it, right? So they force you to take it to the dealership, and basically all they do is plug it up and blah, 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 whatever. Because now they're all V4s. So now the valve adjustment internals is every 16,000 miles, just like a Japanese bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a twin. So you adjust the valves the same way as you do any other twin. Yes, it's got a Desmotronic head on it. Yes, it's 2 shims per valve. You got an open rocker and a closing rocker. But again, it's not fucking rocket science. Now there's a place you can actually, or you can rent the tools and they'll ship them to you. You do your own valve adjustment, and then you put a deposit. I think it's like $600. They send you everything. The belt, let's say if you got a belt one, right? Like my 848, it sends you the harmonica tool for the belt tension.
Yeah.
Dude, you get everything. $600. When you ship it back, I think they refund you like $250 or $200 of it, which, okay. But I did it all myself.
It's not bad.
You know what I mean? And they are intimidating when people say that, right? I'm like, dude, it's just, I look at things different than a lot of people. It's like, it's just a machine. It's got 4 cams or 2 cams or whatever it is, right? And it's I think a lot of people just don't want to put the time and the effort into it. They just lazy in kind of a way and just want to just pay people to do it, right? I can see it if you don't want to know your own. Yeah.
Yeah, just be inquisitive, man. Put your hands on it. You don't know how it has to work, but put your hands on it. Just look at it. Go to YouTube. There's so much stuff you can learn from there. It's just, or if you got a friend that's mechanically inclined, just ask. Like, there's not a lot to a motorcycle that's just like, oh man, this is way over my head. They're pretty simple machines. The new stuff, new stuff is mainly software. Like, I don't know how to read data or do any of that, but like mechanical stuff, not a problem.
Yep. Not a problem at all. It's not. Yeah, you will have to go out there and buy certain tools. Like I have Ducatis. I've had many. Matt has too. So yeah, we have a socket that's literally this big, right, for your real wheel, right? You gotta buy this certain socket that's like freaking huge. And then there's little odds and ends, but they're simple to work on. Which brings me, I was gonna ask you, what do you think of the new 2020? Ducati with the double-sided swing arm?
Dude, I actually like the double-sided swing arm. I like it. I'm not a fan of what they did with the headlights. So I really like the V4 headlights where the snorkel was integrated in the headlights. It had that, it just looked mean. It was like a sexy bike. If you look at it, it's just like, damn, that thing's sexy. I wish they would have left the headlights from the previous generation. Like, it looks kind of Honda-ish to me from the front end. But like the swing arm and the tail, like everything from the tank back, love it. The front, I think it needs more love, but what do I know?
I've gotten a lot of questions too. Man, the double-sided swing arm sucks ass. It should be a solo swing arm. I'm like, look, you don't see a solo swing arm in MotoGP, do you? Nope, you don't, right? And there's a reason for that. A solo swing arm is a lot heavier than a double-sided swing arm. They don't have the rigidity. That's why Ducati there for years went from a magnesium back to aluminum, blah, blah, blah. They kept doing all this carbon fiber, all this shit, trying to get it as light and as flexible as a dual swing arm, right? I think they did a good job. I personally love it. Just like when the 999 come out, everybody was like, oh, this bike's ugly. And I said, I was probably one of the only ones, man. I was like, dude, that is a sexy machine because it was so different, right? Just like when the 916 come out, it was so different than anything anybody's ever seen. Same thing with the 999, and then of course they come out with the 848, the 1098, yada, and blah, blah, blah. And here we are.
Well, the single side swing arm is great. I like it. I like the way it looks. It's great for changing tires, especially for me whenever I'm going through tires all the time. It's just take it off, boom, done. But I mean, their claim they made, I'm really interested in the claim they make. So they said from swapping the swing arm, or it's that and some electronics, they would literally, anybody could drop a second off their lap times. That's a pretty bold claim to be making. One whole second. I'd like to see it. I'd definitely like to see it out in action.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of test riders and videos coming up here shortly on YouTube about it. And actually, they did a race with what was it at Ducati Week, right? They
Race of Champions.
Raced them. Yep, they raced those bikes. And they were beautiful. I like it. And you're right, the front end's like different, but it all goes back to like if you notice now on bikes, right? The MotoGP bikes, the World Superbike bikes, all that, the BMWs. Where's the Ram Air? Right in the center. Same thing the RC51 had 24 years ago, right in the center, right? So it's like they're going back to that because it's the best spot to put it. That's where right there in the front. That's where you're going to get all that, not underneath, not on the sides. It's all that right there in the center, which is mass centralization. It's absolutely cool. So I'm not a big fan of all the aero and the ride height device and all that bullshit in MotoGP. I wish they are going to get rid of it, but it's you see a cockpit of a MotoGP bike, it's like, well, I don't even know where the fuck to begin on this thing. It's got 8 levers and 50 fucking buttons and switches. It's like, is this a motorcycle? Or am I fucking in SpaceX and I'm getting ready to go to Mars? I mean, what is it, right? To me, it's overkill. I get it. We're 340 horsepower motorcycles. We need all this shit. We don't make them fucking 340 horsepower. Put the shit back in the rider's hands.
Not to mention, you got to be the world's best rider. Like, dude, I have a hard time, keeping up with my brake markers each lap. These guys have got to ride the bike, and then they've got to switch to map 1, map 2, ride height device on the front straightaway, do this. Oh, gotta, dude, damn, come on.
You're like, yeah, it's absolutely, and that's why I love BSB. I have not watched none of the races yet. BSB is my favorite race organization in the world solely because of the fact that they're racing 240 horsepower motorcycles with no electronic assist on them. It's all down to the rider. This is the traction control. Your right foot is your anti-wheelie. Well, this is too your anti-wheelie, right? But now you got to climb over the front of it. So it's old school style racing. Now in MotoGP, they just pretty much do this and all the electronics go do. And a lot of people don't know this, that a MotoGP bike does not do full throttle or full power till after 4th gear. All the way up through the first 4 gears, it is super restrictive. Even though you're giving it the full beans, it's not giving it the full beans, right? It's ridiculous.
Those bikes are so powerful. Can you imagine going 100% throttle in 2nd, 3rd gear? I mean, it's just, dude, my 1198 power wheelies in 3rd and 4th gear. It's like, I can imagine something with that much power. I'd be going to the moon.
Or we'd be dead. One or the other, right? Let's just be honest. Because me and you'd be like, you know what? We're going to try to test this thing out. For sure.
Be out in the woods somewhere.
So speaking of that, like it would be kind of cool. I've never been on a bike with launch control, right? So I could see myself if I did have a motorcycle that had launch control, every stoplight I come to, launch control engaged. What? Bam! Every stoplight, right? I would definitely be in jail. 110%.
Dude, so the first day I owned my V4, I was wearing shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops, and everyone was checking it out, and I was like, I'm going to test out this launch control. So I pull it out in my neighborhood, and I don't live in a big neighborhood, and I activate it. It's telling me hold it to 9,000 RPM. I'm like, okay, and then it just comes on the screen, release the clutch. It's like, okay, so I released the clutch. It didn't wheelie, didn't spin, do nothing. It was like Spaceball, straight into ludicrous speed. Just like gone. It's like, oh shit, I need to stop.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I want to try it. Like, I'd love to just experience one time. Just get on there and just same thing. I've never been on a bike with an auto blimper. I'm old school, man. I like to blip the throttle, rev it, match the res, for gear you're in, the end of the corner and all that. All this auto blip and stuff, like it'd be foreign to me. I'd get used to it pretty quick, I'm sure, but it's a different way of riding a bike. You got to relearn how to ride a bike when you're used to one style, one way of doing things, right?
The auto blipper is awesome, man. On that bike, the quick shifter is just awesome. It's so buttery smooth. That's probably my one thing I love about the bike the most is just the quick shifter. I know a lot of people are going to different quick shifters saying the Ducati one sucks, but I haven't found any issues yet.
Yeah. So I do have a quick shifter on my 848 that I was going to take off and just throw it on the 51 just to see what it was like, right? But then I'd have to add my auto tuner to it. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. It's just going to stay on the Ducati and I'll just old school, bum, 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 and do all that cool stuff. So yeah, maybe one day if I decide to keep it, I will do a slipper clutch and all that cool stuff, but we'll see, man. I would love to put a set of rims on it, but again, I don't want to spend $4,000 or $3,500 or whatever on a set of rims. I'm just going to turn around and sell it if that's what I decide to do.
If we can get together and do a track day, I'll definitely drag it out and throw some new rubber on it and let you ride it. Because then once you ride it, you'll never want to sell yours.
Hey, I'll take you up on that offer 110%. I'm actually waiting on my custom full bison suit to come in, and I cannot wait to get it. My gloves, my chest protector, all that. So yeah, I just got my brand new boots in the other day, and I took them out, and obviously I wanted to break them in, so that's what I ordered. I bought the Forma Flows, the brand new ones that just come out.
Forma's awesome, man. I've been running those boots for years, and I'll tell you right now, they are great holding up to crashes because I've probably crashed in those like a dozen times. So good boots.
Nice, yeah, and I like the fact that you can buy them brand new for under $400. That's tax and everything. That's shipped to your door, right? So I had a pair of Alpine Star. My old job, when it went out of business, I ordered a set of Alpine Star boots. I wear a 10 size shoe, excuse me. But it's just like anything. You put on, you might wear a 10 and a half and 11 in one shoe. You might wear, a 10 in another. So I was like, let me go, since I'm a 10, let me get a 10 and a half. Got the 10 and 9.5. Man, around when I put my foot in it, like right there in the front, I felt like my shit was bunched up like this. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to wear these. Even wearing them around, trying to break them in, it's just like you see a pair of shoes, you put them on, immediately as soon as you slide your foot in. Yep, these are me, or no, these are not me. So I sent them back. I got a 10 and a half because you can't fucking find a 10 in an Alpine Star boot, which blows my fucking mind. Anyway, I get the 10 and a half, and they're like, this too much, too big. So I go put the inner boot on, and I got like this much room, and I was like, these are definitely not going to work, right? We went out of business. So I'm stuck with them. I can't send them back. So I sold them.
Oh, that sucks.
Bought the Formas. And I'm glad I did because I really like my Forma boots. They're pimping.
Well, back in the day, I was broke. So I bought Formas because they were so cheap. And I had some Super Tech R's. And the Super Techs, they were so tight. Even though they were my size, they were so tight, they'd make my feet go numb. So hour into riding, I couldn't feel the shifter anymore. So I ended up buying the Formas, and I've looked back since. I love those boots, man. They're awesome. I actually need
Did
to
you get
replace them now with some more Formas.
did you get the so you had the original Forma Ice, I think is what they were?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, let me see. I got mine right here. Yep.
Yeah, those are
These
so
are mine.
nice.
Yeah, dude. I love my they're perforated. Look, I brand new, man. Like I said, I just wore them today. Yeah, I love them. They're great. They fit great. I wear a 10. I ordered a 10. They're absolutely perfect. They were just a tad bit tight where the front of my foot is, but after walking around and wearing them, for a couple hours a day, they broke in and all that pretty much went away. So yeah, they're great, man. They're absolutely great boots. Yeah, man. You're not the only one that said that. I've heard a lot of people say that. Dude, the formal boots are the shit. That's what you need to get. Blah blah. And I could have got the ice ones pretty cheap, but I'm like, nah, dude, I need the latest and greatest thing, right? I need the new ones.
Well, dude, I was an Alpine Star guy through and through. If it wasn't Alpine Star, I wasn't interested. And the boots, they suck. Like I don't know what like secret code I need to do to get the correct fitting Alpine Star boots, but I could never get it. So the Formas, I just been using those, and man, they're great. My only complaint I had on mine was because they had the ratchet style. I would bump the release on it sometimes, and then the boot would actually come unclasped. And funny story, we were at Roebling. I'm going out on the siding lap to go grid up, and I bumped the release, so it comes unclasped, and now I'm sitting at the grid. I'm trying to get the boot back again so they don't DQ me. So I finally got it all together, and everything was fine. But yeah, that was like the only issue I had.
Yeah, it's dude, I was like you. I was a huge Alpine Star. I mean, I got a pair of Dainese boots. And I really like those. Don't get me wrong. Those are really comfortable boots too. I don't wear them a lot. I do, but not like so I bought my first suit was Alpine Star, got the Alpine Star boost, the Alpine Star back protector, yada the undersuit, yada yada yada. Bought this has been years ago, but whatever the brand new GP Plus gloves, right? When the GP Plus gloves, the top line, they were like $400, 380, whatever it was. Dude, I had them gloves literally for like 2 months. The whole stitching of my pinky completely come undone. Like I was riding one day and I'm like, why do I feel like this major draft in my hand, right? And I look down and I hold my hand like this. I'm like, oh shit, the whole stitching doesn't come undone. And where the wrist, the little wrist Velcro right here,
yeah,
where the gauntlet goes over, that stitching come undone too, like simultaneously. So I was going to Indy MotoGP in a couple of weeks. I was like, Alpine Star is going to be there. I walked straight up to the Alpine Star guys. I had my bag, the receipt, and everything. I was like, look, this is the deal. I've had these for whatever you tell 2 months. The whole stitching didn't come out, and I handed the guy the gloves. He looks at them, hands them back, and says, "You're gonna have to send them back off to Alpine Star." And I was like,
"What are you then?
You are fucking Alpine Star, dude. You got the fucking gloves right here. Just exchange them." And he's like, "Nope, can't do it. You got to send them back off." And I was like, you know what? Your customer service sucks ass. Like, I'm never buying another pair of Alpine Star gloves ever again, hands down. So since then, I don't really buy any Alpine Star shit. Like I like their Meta shoes. Yeah, I love the Alpine Star, running shoes. They're fucking fabulous. T-shirts. Of course, I buy Alpine Star t-shirt because they got some cool ass t-shirts, a couple of hats. But as far as riding gear and all that shit goes, absolutely not. We'll never again buy anything else Alpine Star. I'm not saying anybody else had that experience, but for me to have that and spend $400 on a set of gloves for them to fucking just the stitching completely come undone, and then take them back, and they look at me and say, "Nope, you got to send them off." I'm like, "But you're right here. I don't get it." He's like,
"Yeah, that's ridiculous."
I'm like, so they lost me for life for that. So I won't buy, Alpine Star suit or any of that shit. Of course, why would you? I'm a Bison man.
I could understand like crash damage if they were like rashed up real bad. Like, dude, you crashed in those. No, But like a glove that's just all you've done is worn it. Like, no, that's ridiculous, man. Like the amount of money this stuff costs to buy, and you're telling me you can't produce a quality product. Like, I get it if it's some, piece of gear from, Pakistan. Yeah. But Alpine Star, a name brand, no, that's ridiculous.
And now the price of everything's so expensive because I get out because where I bought a bunch of the Alpine Star Meta shoes, the running shoes. Like I'd buy 2 different colors and wear one on one foot and another color on the other foot because I'm a nerd, right? I like to stand out. Whatever. Judge me if you want. I don't give a shit.
Nerds.
Fucking nerds, right? So anyway, I'm on the mailing list, right? So they send me, oh, check out the new Alpine Star. So I look on there, I'm like, okay, well, let me just see what they got because they do have some pretty badass hats. Obviously, I got a shit ton of hats. I don't need any more fucking hats, but I'm gonna look anyway, right? They have a t-shirt that's $250. I'm like, nobody's paying $250 for a fucking t-shirt. They got a hat that's like $150. They got a balaclava, whatever that thing you put over to keep the coldness out. It's like $250.
Oh, yeah.
Their sweatshirt, they have a armored sweatshirt that's $600. How the
Dude,
fuck
I don't know
you
what
gonna pay,
crack they're smoking.
bro?
I think you're going to
Get
pay
out of
that
here.
kind of money.
I'm sure there's
That's
somebody out there
ridiculous.
is buying it for sure. 110% somebody. And it was something else. I have to look. What I'll do when we get off here, I'll send you some of the pictures of it. And I was like, dude, you're fucking smoking mad crap. I don't know what it is you're smoking, but it ain't goddamn weed. I promise you that.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, and like I said, I just had such a shitty experience with their customer service, and then like the dude wouldn't even give me the time of day. He's like, "No, don't want to hear it. Send it off." And I'm like, "But you're not going to do nothing for me?" He's like, "No, absolutely not. Here you go. Bye bye. Can I help you with anything else?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. Nope."
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, and then after that, of course, but dude, I gave the gloves to my buddy. My buddy needed a set of gloves, so what I did is I ended up taking it down to one of those steam places you take your clothes to. They iron and all that. Well, there's this one down the road. She's a Chinese, whatever. She can sew her ass off. So I took him down there. I was like, hey, I need these sewn. She's like, sure, no problem. She charged me like $40, I think, $50 to stitch the glove back up. And my buddy was like, dude, he just got a bike, got a riding jacket. I was like, dude, you need a pair of gloves. Like for real. He's like, yeah, I want to go out and buy these gloves. I was like, I got a pair for you. Now, if the stitching comes undone on the left glove, good luck sending them back to Alpine Star because they're going to shit all over you. But here you go, buddy. And yeah, I don't know what he ever did with those. So I just gave them away. I'm like, here, take them. I don't want them. Don't even want to see them no more. So
that's what I ended up doing with my Super Tech R's. I ended up giving those away because it's like, dude, I can't feel my feet. Like, you can have them.
Yeah. I don't want nothing for them. Take them, enjoy them, throw them away, set them on fire. I don't give a shit what you do with them. Just get them the fuck up out of here. Right. Yeah. I feel you on that, man. And it's hard to find good stuff. I mean, it really is. And then you spend your hard-earned money on this shit and it don't fit right. And they want to give you a hard time about exchanging it. And you got to wait all this bullshit. And it takes months to get it back. And it's like, you know what? Nah. But that's why I love Bison, right? I'm an ambassador for Bison. Yes, I love to talk about them, but what they do for the racing community, they're always at every Moto America race. Every Moto America race. Shit, they're at a lot of fucking club races, right? And if you have an incident, you can just show up. Hey, I need this sewn. I need this colored. I need this done. They'll do it. It don't matter if you're in Bison or not. They'll still do it. And that's an amazing thing to do.
Racing is so expensive. I mean, you got to think, man. We're excluding the bike, building the bike. You got to think of how much money is spent on racing, and and you need this gear. Like, this gear is going to save you. And just to have shit like that, to have piss poor quality like that, like, I'm going to rely on this gear when I hit the deck to save me, but yet the stitching is popping out, with a couple months of riding. Like, that's, yeah.
It's horrible. So I'm not recommending you guys don't buy Alpine Star. Do what you will, do what you want, whatever. But yeah, that was just my thing. And so then I bought the Day and Easy, Valentino Rossi Full Metal gloves, but I didn't buy his colors because they were extra like $200. So I bought the solid black ones. I still got them, but one thing I do notice about the Day and Easy gloves is they're stiff. I don't care if I put the leather softener on them, whatever, let them sit out in the sun. They're like stiff. And like when I go to make a closed fist, they fit me perfect. But when I go to make a closed fist, it's like right here in the bend of my hands. It's like, I don't know. It's got this weird feeling, right? So I don't ever wear them. Then I ended up getting a pair of Handroids by Knox. Now those Handroids, to this day, I haven't got my bison gloves in yet. They are hands down, them and my RS Tachi are my two favorite gloves that I ever bought, that I ever put on. No break-in, kangaroo. I slide my hand in them, and it fits like a glove. It feels like a glove. It feels like I could feel the controls, the clutch. They're absolutely amazing gloves. No
See,
issues.
I've got a different story about. So at CMP in 22, I crashed in what was it, the last quarter? It was 14, and I used to run Heroic gloves, and I've had that set of gloves forever, and it ended up burning through right here on my knuckle. Like it was scary because I looked down, all I see is blood. I'm like, oh no, I hope I still got a finger. But I ran over and got some RS Tai Chi gloves. Never wore them, nothing. And within a whole season of racing, the palm has torn. So now I've got a big torn spot in my palm, and it's like, that's weird. But the same way with the Tai Chis, they're really stiff. Like I really struggle. So I got it. Maybe it's because I don't have the right size too. I've got a little extra material at the tip of my fingers. So when I go to grab the brake lever, sometimes I've missed it where I go to roll off the throttle and grab brake, and it's like, that bunches, that rolls up and kind of makes me miss the lever.
Yeah. Mine, I think mine are a large. Now my RS Tachi, same thing. Some of the stitching come undone. Matter of fact, they're sitting right here. I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna show you exactly what they did because I was again disappointed. Nice. Right? Yeah. Hang on. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Commercial break. Now that we're done shitting on Alpine Star.
All right, so these are my RS Tachis. One of my favorite pair of gloves. Man, they fit so good. But look where the stitching done come undone right there.
Oh,
the foam's coming out, right? And I didn't do anything in that. And that's in an area that it's right here. It don't do anything, right? So, and you can see where it's starting to come unstitched right here in this whole thing. Like one day, just like the Alpine Star, I look down, I'm like, what the hell is that? It's where the stitching done come undone, right? And you could tell I haven't had these on. Look, they're clean as shit.
Yep.
Same thing, right? They're like, oh, you got to send them back, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Nope, not going to do it. And then these are my all favorite gloves right here, my Knox Handroids. These things are absolutely amazing gloves, man. I love them. They're full kangaroo. Man, they just fit so good. And I've had these things for a couple years. I've never had not one issue, not one stitch come off, not nothing. So, yeah, these things are my favorite gloves for sure. 100%.
Yeah, I've never tried the Knox.
Oh, dude, they're fucking awesome because they got the boa thing on it. So you just click it down and you turn it and it tightens up and then you just click it. And yeah, they're absolutely amazing.
Nice.
And I didn't know nobody that had them. I was online one day and I wanted to buy a new pair of hand gloves, and I'd seen some pictures of them in a British motorcycle magazine, Fast Bike magazines, or one of those. And I was like, dude, those are fucking awesome. I want some. So I got on Knox.com and they were only $250, not $400, not $350, $250, right? Delivered to my door. Boom. Put them on, fit like a glove, and I love them. People are like, can I try that on? I'm like, nope, you cannot. Go buy your own pair. And they are a 10 large. And they actually fit like a large. I mean, it's in some gloves, you put a large on, you're like, who measured these? A midget? You know what I'm saying? You put a large on it, comes down to right here. You're like, and then you got to get like a 3X. You're like, I don't wear anything at a 3X. Well, what do you get out of here?
Call them European measurements.
Dude, riding gear, going back to what you were saying, people that are going to be listening to this either now or in the future, Matt's absolutely right. Our sport's so expensive. So let's just talk riding gear. You go out and you go buy, I'm going to use an off the rack suit, right? Because that's what a lot of people are going to do. They're going to go out, Alpine Star, Day and Easy, whatever it is, it's going to be $1,500 at least. That's just your suit, $1,500. You go out and you buy you an Arai Corsair X. That's $1,000. That's $2,500. $400 set of gloves, $400 boots, $200 back protector, $100 undersuit. Dude, you're $5,000+ just in your gear alone. That don't include the cost of the bike or any of that shit. So, yeah. And like I tell people, why buy an off the rack suit when you can spend a little bit less money and get a full custom suit that's going to fit you? That's tailor made just for you. So it's going to fit like a glove, right?
That's my next route, is to get a tailored suit, because I've been buying suits, whether I buy them used, new. I've just been buying them, throwing them on, and whatever shortcomings they have, I just live with it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I can hook you up with Bison. I even got a discount code, Matt, and I'll hook you directly up with Rob. I'm telling you, they're absolutely amazing people, man. And
well, I need some sponsorship, so hey.
I'm telling you, there you go. I'm telling you, I'll put you. Robert's not here right now. He's actually out there and for the World Superbike race, because they sponsor Chris Clark, I think is the kid's name, in the 300 Super Sport class out there. So Robert's actually out there with him now. But when he does fly back in, because I will see him at Mid Ohio, so I will just give you. I'll give you his number. I'll give him your number, and you guys can go back and forth and communicate. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. All you got to do is go to a Moto America event and walk through the paddock, and you see a lot of people wearing Bison suits. And just ask them, hey, what do you think about your Bison suit? Guaranteed. I absolutely fucking love it. I love it, right? That's all you need to hear. It's all the proof's in the pudding. And I'm not talking shit about any other suit, because I'm friends with Envy and all those, and they make absolutely amazing products, right? So yeah, in any of those, but me personally, I recommend Bison just because they're there all the time at the track. And that's what you want, Matt. So if you're at the track and something happens, hey, I need this fixed, sir, no problem. Bring me your suit. They'll fix it right there on the spot. You come back and pick it up, and you're good to go. You don't have to send it off. They're there. So good stuff, man. Good. Look, dude, we're an hour and 30 minutes into this, and it's gone by like this.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid, we could bore everybody with suits and RC talk.
Nah, dude, listen, that's the thing about a podcast, man. It's you never know where it's gonna go, right? It's blah 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 blah. But listen, we'll get you back on here too. We'll definitely do a part 2 and a part 3 and all that, because I'd love to follow your whole club racing career. I'll get you on here and we'll go back and forth about the racing and all that. I do want to get into what my favorite part of the interview is, when I ask Matt personal questions, right? And I'm serious about coming down there to Atlanta at the end of the month. If I can make it happen, because my buddy only lives 20 minutes from the track, so I can stay with him for free. So if he's going to be home, then I'll definitely come at the end of the month and I'll hang out with you all weekend. If not,
here, let me get the dates. I got the schedule right here. Let's see. So, where's it at? Yeah, it's 8/31 to 9/1 is when we're going to be going. So the end of this month and the beginning of September 1st.
All right. I will shoot him a text, and if he's going to be home and I'm allowed to come up, well, of course I already know I'm allowed to come up, but if he's going to be home, I'll drive up there and stay with him, and we'll wake up and come to the track and yeah, have fun, man. Absolutely cheer you on and help you out as much as we can, man. I've done the whole hot pit, cold pit, tire warmers, generator, bring this, bring that, blah, 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 blah. So if you need
I won't make you tote a generator up the hill. I won't make you do that.
Bro, that was absolutely brutal, dude. No bullshit. That's a big ass generator too. We try to take the scooter and hold on to it and get up the hill. As soon as I try to go up the hill, that scooter's like, nah, baby, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. So,
Dude, I've walked up and down that hill for Moto America rounds just myself. And man, my calves are killing me by the time I get to the top. I can't imagine dragging a generator.
me, David Wolf, and Daniel Shoemake made it happen. When I got to the top of that thing, I was like, I'm done. Like, I feel like, yeah, I'm done for the weekend. This did it for me. It was absolutely brutal, bro, for sure. But yeah, so
Dude, have you
listen,
heard David sing?
Dude,
Have you
you're
heard
the
David sing?
No, but you're the second person. But when I see you, Dave, you're gonna have to sing. No questions.
That guy, we were at Barber and he starts singing the national anthem. It's like, whoa, wow.
I love it, man. I love it. Who else was telling me that? Shit. Somebody else was like, dude, have you ever heard? Because I was telling the story about the general. I think it was Philip Hart was like, dude, you ever heard Philip David sing? I'm like, no. He's like, bro, he can freaking sing. I was like,
He
okay.
got some lungs, man.
Okay. I'm about to see them bad boys in action. That's awesome. So look, my dog actually come in here and sat down with me. There she is. She's a purebred pit, and she's old, man. She's like 12 or 13. Still kicking it, still getting around.
That's like our lab. Sam. Come here. Yeah, here's one of our German Shepherds.
Love it. I love German Shepherds. I love all dogs, man. I'm a dog lover through and through. Big, small, don't matter. I prefer big dogs, me personally. Like, I like big dogs. My son wants a little dog, so maybe the next one I get, I'll get him a little whatever he wants, and I'll give me another big one, right? Yeah, so. But yeah, Matt, let me ask you this. Let me start it off with this. Tell us what your worst habit is.
Oh, God, there's so many. Probably the one that I despise the most would be chewing tobacco. That's probably my worst habit. It's a disgusting habit, but I've yet to kick it.
So back in high school, right after me and my buddy was working at UPS, right, at nights, and he rode with me, I rode with him. That's all he did was dip, right? He had 2 soda bottles right there, and he actually picked up his dip bottle and thought it was his other and took a big old swig of it, and I lost. I threw up, dude. Fucking opened the door and just up chucked. I was like, that was the most disgusting shit I ever fucking seen in my life, dude. So yeah, that ruined any dip action for me. I'm like, nah, bro, absolutely not, dude. Oh god,
dude, my son did that. I was spitting in a Coke can, and my son grabbed it and started drinking it, and he didn't spit it out. He just looked and said, "I think this Coke's flat."
Oh, yes, it is. It's absolutely. Don't drink that shit no more. I love it, dude. So listen, let me ask you this and tell us something we don't know about Matt Hall.
What don't you know? I am addicted to Audible books. I am heavily addicted to sci-fi Audible books.
That's one of my questions, man, because I love audiobooks. I listen to a shit ton of audiobooks. What audiobook are you listening to right now?
Well, right now, I'm currently waiting on 2 books to drop in a series. But do you remember the movie Aliens with Sigourney Weaver?
Yep.
Okay. So love that. I'm not that big into Star Wars, but Aliens I love. So I listened to all the Aliens audiobooks, and dude, like I could tell you everything about it. But anyway, so the 2 I'm waiting for, Drop Trooper. That's a series I'm listening to right now. I'm waiting for them to drop a book there. And I'm waiting for a book. What's that series called? Expeditionary Force. Anyway, yeah. R.C. Bray. The author is R.C. Bray, and it's a soon-to-be 17-part book series. And dude, I love that series. I think I've got like either like 118 or 19 titles. I'm I am very addicted to audiobooks.
I love audiobooks because it's like a podcast. You just throw your earbuds in, whatever, go to work and just, dude, listen. Like in Ohio, dude, I'm gonna be hitting the road, baby, just audio booking it up. Matter of fact, that dude, I love all kinds of audiobooks too, right? Whether it's sci-fi, like Philip Hart told me that because I'm a Star Wars nerd, right? A lot of us are fucking Star Wars geeks. I'm fucking one of them. But he told me he sent me a book called it's about Thrawn. He's like, dude, this is really good. You need to listen to these Star Wars audiobooks on Thrawn, right? So I'm gonna do that. But the one I just got done listening to is All Secure by Tom Shatterly. He is the guy, if you guys don't know, Black Hawk Down when that and Mogadishu, right? He wasn't in the helicopter, but he was one of the guys that going out there and got him. Dude, intense book. I like those, war, military, because they get graphic, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I couldn't imagine. No wonder why our troops, and that's something we need to do. America is better, is take care of our troops. Because if it wasn't for them doing what they did, me and Matt wouldn't be here doing a podcast. We wouldn't be out there doing track days and road racing, right? We might be a third world country, butt naked riding zebras with a bone in our nose. Who knows, right? I mean, seriously. So without them, so thank you for all the service, all the military men and women all around the world. You guys are fucking proper mega, and I love every single one of you. But the audio book I'm currently listening to is called The Reaper by Nicholas Irving. Same thing. He was a sniper in the military. So doing that whole, military thing. I just got done the last motorcycle book that I had listened to by Stuart Baker. He's the one that, you heard me say it, The Ragged Edge. It's all about the TT, but he also did one on fucking GOAT, Valentino Rossi. So I listened to that one not too long ago, which was really good. Oh, and this one's a really good one. The Way of the Ronin.
I've heard of that book. Yeah,
dude, it's really good, man. I like those books. It's fantasy books. I don't have any fantasy books on here. I have some like hard, soft covers that I had read. It's been a long time since I read any of those. So you'll have to send me a couple recommendations as far as the sci-fi fantasies and all that, because I love Aliens and Predator and all that shit.
Dude, I got one. Alien Cold Forge. You gotta listen to it. It's about a 9-hour long listen. But dude, it's gonna get you hooked, because once you listen to that one, there's like 3 other books that tie into that one, and you're gonna be like hooked. You're gonna have to listen to it. But Alien Cold Forge, that book is awesome.
All right, I'm gonna write it down right now. Do I have any empty pages on here? I don't. I'll write it down.
I think I bet you I've listened to that book now about 5 times. That's how good it is. I'm definitely an audiobook snob. If it doesn't grab my attention within the first hour or so, I'm just out. I'm done. I check out and I never pick it up again.
Yeah, me too. But, I'm the same way. For sure. I am. My buddy, my cousin, actually, I ate dinner with my mom. My mom's birthday was August 5th. We didn't have a birthday dinner with her that weekend, but we had it for her last night. He was just got the Steve McQueen book, an autobiography on Steve McQueen, which I bet you is probably a pretty fucking good book. So yeah, I wrote it down. Alien Cold Forge, right?
Yes, sir.
Cold Forge. All right. A matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up on my audiobooks right now and add it to my collection as we're talking. So next question, bro. Podcast. It goes along with audiobooks. What podcast do you listen to?
Ooh, so I definitely listen to yours. I like getting on there and trolling people from time to time. I don't listen to too many of them. Like Gypsy Tales, he had one where he interviewed Mick Doohan, and I am a Mick Doohan fanboy, so of course I had to listen to that. Him and Casey Stoner.
That's it,
and
right
then,
here?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Boom, done.
And don't be mad at me whenever you're like, $100 into audiobooks. Like, man.
Matt, God damn it. Love it.
But so, and then what else? I've listened to a couple of that Pipe Dreams. Because they had Cam Peterson on there and somebody else. So it might have been Aaron or
they've had
Skoltz.
Yep, they've had Skoltz.
But
I don't know if they had Skoltz. Maybe.
And that's about track days. I'll listen to track days because dude, he has Richard Stamboli on there, and that guy, holy shit! You talk about the amount of knowledge that guy has about bikes. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, Dustin's a good buddy of mine. We talk quite often, actually. We go back and forth because he's a podcaster. I'm a podcaster. We're always blah, 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 blah. He actually invited me to go out there to California and ride track days with him, which I'm going to, Dustin. I'm going to. It's going to cost me some money to fly out to California and get a hotel and all that. I just don't have the extra money right now, especially since I'm not making the money I was at my old job. So, yeah.
Well, Sunday at Road Atlanta for the Moto America Roundups, we were standing out there talking to Tuna, and I saw Dustin on the golf cart, rides by, and I holler at him, comes over, and I had been like roaming around his comment section, just like talking shit. I was like, "Hey, I'm so and so." He kind of just looked at me, like he had no idea who I was. But then I think I told him like a comment that I had said, and he's like, "Oh, you." He's like, "Come by, get a sticker," and I came by. He wasn't there, but yeah, Dustin seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, he is, dude. He's absolutely. So it's the first time I've known him for a while, and actually met him in Atlanta when I met you. Funny thing, I was on the back of a golf cart with Ryan Wolf and Erica and them, and we're riding by, and I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I was like, that dude looks just like fucking Coiner, like no bullshit. And I was like, stop the golf cart. I jump off. I was like, Dustin, bro, what is up? He's like, holy shit, Simcoe, what are you doing? So he introduced me to his dad. We went out and ate dinner that night and everything. Yeah, he's absolutely an amazing. But I listen to him, of course, because he's a buddy of mine. Pipe Dreams I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of motorcycle podcasts. I listen to one of my favorite motorcycle podcasts is Chasing the Racing. They're UK based. They're absolutely amazing. And of course, my man Off Track.
I'll have to check that out.
Dude, Chasing the Racing's freaking awesome. That and my good mate Dave Neal has a podcast called Off Track. No, it's not Brothers in Christ here in America. It's Off Track out there in the UK. And obviously he's TT and BSB, and he's absolutely amazing. He's the whole reason why I went out to BSB last year. To hang out with him, and he come out here in Texas and we got together. Yeah, so big shout out to Dave Neal, Off Track, highly recommended. Go look. Oh, and Moto PG is another one that I listen to religiously. They're in Australia. If you go back to my old podcast, I actually had all three of them on my podcast, Boris, Tugs, and Fredo. They talk cash shit, and they're fucking hilarious. So I do. But other than that, man, I'm more of a Joe Rogan, Danny Jones, man, just all kinds of crazy shit, right?
I try to stay away from the political stuff. Like I've listened to Joe Rogan before, but I definitely try to stay away from the political stuff. Because honestly, man, that's just not my thing.
Yeah, I don't listen to any political people I listen to like when they have like the snipers and the Marine vets and stuff like that on there, or who's the one I listened to that I enjoyed where he's a big alien guy. God damn it.
Was it the guy from the History Channel? It's like where he's like, because of aliens.
Yeah, he was on there.
Pyramids.
Yeah. That man, shit like that, right? Like it's yeah, I enjoy stuff like that sometimes. Not all the time. It's just whatever mood you're in, right? Like, I don't want to listen to this shit. But any political bullshit, presidents and all that, you can fucking keep it. Don't want to hear it. Don't give a shit. So,
yeah, that's same here, man. If you want me to my eyes to glass over the fastest, let's just talk political shit, because then I'm just like, oh god,
I'm clocking out. Bing, I'm out. Right? Yeah, 100%. Let me ask you this: who's your favorite comedian?
Oh, gotta be George Carlin, man. I'm a huge Carlin fan, of course, because my parents listened to him in the '80s, and I listened to him, and I just Carlin all the way.
George Carlin's a G, bro. He's my favorite, all-time favorite too. Is George Carlin? He's absolutely amazing. So let me ask you this: I like this question a lot. What's for dinner tonight?
Roast.
Are you making it?
No, the wife is. It's in the crock pot.
So I'm a big cook. I cook. I do most of the cooking. I get it from my mom. So I love to cook, man. It's just, yeah, I'd be in the kitchen for fucking hours just making all kinds of shit. And sometimes it is hard work. It's like a job, man. I'll be in there for 4 or 5 hours, but it's worth it. And then when dinner time comes, I'm not hungry because I done sampled everything. I'm like, yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, it tastes good. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So yeah. And are you a pineapple on pizza guy?
I'll eat it, but no, typically not.
Not preferable, right? Actually, we had
No.
my mom's dinner last night. They had a pork loin, which I'm not a real big pork eater, but I do every once in a while eat it. So the pork loin and grilled pineapple with the pork loin. Oh my god, it's so good,
Ooh,
dude.
that sounds good.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's fucking and another good thing when I do eat pork, like if I do buy pork chops, I do pork chops and grilled peaches. Absolutely fucking amazing. It's simple,
That sounds
dude.
good.
Cut. It's just like I love avocados. Like I could eat 50 avocados a day if I could afford to buy 50 avocados a day and eat them, right? Same thing with the peach. Cut it all the way around, twist it, pull the pit of it out, a little bit of olive oil, tad bit of salt, throw it on the grill, get the char marks on it, warm it up just a little bit, take it off. Fucking absolutely amazing. Really is. Let me ask you this. If you can invite Matt, any 3 people to a track day, they could be celebrities, your friends, racers, whoever it is. What 3 people you bring into your track day?
Oh man, it'd have to be my friends. It'd have to be friends. Let's see here. I'd probably invite Beresford out. Daniel Beresford. He's my friend. Lives in Louisiana. I'd probably bring Bo Cook out too, and then for number 3, I'd probably bring my buddy Mason out. Yeah, maybe those guys. Go terrorize the track a little bit, terrorize each other.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this. If Matt Hall had his own private island, what's the one racetrack you'd have on that island?
Dude, that's a hard question, man. Oh. Dude, probably Phillip Island. I'd have to go with Phillip Island. Yeah.
Track.
Dude, that track is so awesome.
It is. It really is that. And of course, everybody knows what I'm gonna say. Cadwell Park, right? It's my all-time favorite track is Cadwell. It's I suck at it too, man. I played on the video game and I suck ass on. I can't make a lap without crashing my brains out 35 times unless
Dude,
I'm
I don't see
miles an hour.
how anybody can play. Like, I'm terrible at racing games. I don't see how anybody can play those because like the movement is so slow. Like the guy's like, it's like, dude, we do not move that slow. Like, come on.
No, we don't. But Rod 5 and Rod 4 and 3, man, it's like Gran Turismo motorcycle racing games. They're absolutely amazing games. They're not as slow as like a MotoGP game to turn in, turn out, transition side to side. It's more not natural, but it's just different. It's a little bit quicker. And they're a lot of fun because you can, dude, who don't want to ride an RGV 252 stroke and ride the shit out of it on a track, or an RC51 or old ZX7 double R. Dude, I love that shit, right? It's yeah. So to me, that's yeah, absolutely. Which brings me to the point. Are you PlayStation or Xbox?
Oh, we got a Xbox. SX, I don't know. One of the new ones.
Do you play it?
Very rarely, very rare. I back in the day, I played a lot of games, but then I had to relent to the children. So now it's theirs. The children run it now.
It's funny, man. So what up, Brennan Triplett? My man Brennan, he says Matt is the man. Yes, he is. And dude, I had Brennan on just the other day, and he's absolutely amazing human being. So it's funny you say that because I got a PS5 for Christmas last year. My dad bought me a PS5. Yes, my parents still buy me presents, right? We're a huge family oriented. Me, my mom, my dad, my wife and everybody. So I go to my parents' house 2 to 3 times a week, eat dinner. I buy them presents. They buy us presents. It's just something we still do, right? So my dad buys me a brand new PS5. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Bring it home. Played the shit out of it for a little while. Gave my son my PS4. Well, he starts playing my PS5. He's like, I want to play the PS4. The graphics are so much better. I'm like, they're really not that much better. It's my TV and the PS5, which makes it a little bit better, right? So now he pretty much took over my PS5. He plays Fortnite like ridiculous amount, right?
Fortnite and Roblox, huh?
Dude, god damn it. But my son, he's 11. I named him Hayden Rossi. Everybody knows that. But we have such a great relationship. I freaking love it, man. That I'd be like, hey, I want to play my PlayStation here in a little bit. And my son will look at me, he'd be like, it's either after this game, or he'll be like, okay, I'll just quit now and you can play it. Right. Which is awesome. It's rare that a kid will say that. They'll be like, hell no, I'm all up in it in a couple hours, right? And then I just take the controllers and cut it off. And you're not gonna play it again. But we have such a great relationship that he's always, yeah, no problem, Dad. Like today, I was like, before dinner, after my podcast, maybe can I play it for like an hour? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Now his friends over here, I hear him out there in the other room, so they'll play. He's also got an Oculus. Dude, have you ever tried the Oculus?
No. Have you seen those videos go online where people like run into walls?
Bro, so okay, listen, I don't see how they do that. Well, on the he has the first one we bought him was the Quest 2. That's where people were really running into the walls, right? But the Quest 3 that we bought him last year for Christmas. So what it is when you put it on, you got to set a boundary. You literally set a boundary just to get started. So as you're walking towards that boundary, it's all the video game goes away. And then you start seeing the living room or where you are to prevent you from running into shit, which bring me to a story. My wife bought a TV. She had a 65-inch TV when my son was playing the Oculus 2. He didn't run on the wall. He broke the goddamn TV, fucking swinging his hands like fucking, just murdered the TV. But with the new ones, it's really hard to do that because as soon as you even start to get close to your lines or your boundaries you set, you see everything. So before you even get there, which is really cool. But the Oculus, Matt, when you put it on, bro, it's like it's a whole different world. You're in this whole world. It's crazy. Like when you're crawling up ladders, you feel like you're crawling up a ladder. Star Wars nerd, so I downloaded this Star Wars game. And I'm on this ship and I had to walk across this platform and it was pitch black. And I literally was nervous. My palms are sweating, slowly walking across this. And I'm like, what am I doing? This ain't real life, but you actually feel like you're in it. It's absolutely just
dude, that'd be a good exercise.
Bro, yes. Dude, to get on there and play like boxing games, dude, I'm fucking wore out. You're in there trying, it is. Absolutely it is. Brennan, I bet the wife was mad. Yes, with the TV. I was pissed too. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? What is wrong with you? You broke the TV, bro. Now I gotta spend $1,500 about a new freaking. Well, they're not $1,500 anymore, but still $700-800. Yeah, it's hilarious. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, Brennan and Matt, dude, he's my kid. Mistakes happen. The TV's replaceable. Rossi's not. So yeah, I just kind of laughed at it and was like, I've done worse shit. You know,
just a slight beating. That's it.
Dude, I just whooped his ass. He didn't sit down for a week. You know, all that good. No, I did not. People, I don't beat my kids. Or my kid. My wife beats me though. Does that count?
Depends.
Oh, I love it. Do you have any tattoos, Matt?
Oh yeah. So got this one. It's supposed to be a sleeve, but I have yet to finish it. I've got this one, these two on this arm, and then I've got this whole one right here, which is an eagle. It's the American flag.
Love it.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess
3.
I got my wedding ring tattoo because, dude, I lost so many wedding rings. I said, I'm not buying another fucking wedding ring. Fuck that shit. So I got the tattoo there. I got my Ducati tattoo, my Marco Simoncelli tattoo. I got a Valentino Rossi tattoo between my shoulder blades. Yeah, so I like tattoos. I need some more ink. I want to do a sleeve, a motorcycle themed sleeve where I got Simoncelli and kind of incorporate all the other shit. I tell you what, my next tattoo is going to be probably Pin to Gas. I want to get my Pin to Gas tattooed on me.
You got to. That's mandatory.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Mandatory. So that's next on the list. Let me ask you this. Are you a beer or wine guy?
I am no alcohol guy. I gave up alcohol So I used to drink a lot, and I gave up alcohol because last year when we were endurance racing, it wasn't that it was a problem. I was got to looking at my health. I had someone do all my macros and stuff like that, and alcohol was taking up a huge chunk of them. So I was like, that's got to go. So no alcohol for me. I am a square.
Was it hard to quit drinking?
No, I just put it down. I just made the decision. Yeah, we're done drinking, so I just put it away.
Love it. Congratulations, bro. It's hard for a lot of people to do that, right? Again, it's that whole mental thing. It's all right here. For sure. So let me ask you this. What is your all-time favorite meal?
Meal.
Like your favorite food. Like this is my ultimate favorite plate of food right here.
Probably gotta be a steak. I mean, gotta be just a steak. Ribeye, medium rare. There we go.
I was gonna say medium rare. It's gotta be. It can't be. My wife's like, I'll cook a steak. I'll cut it open. You know, it's red. My wife's like, I don't see how you eat that shit. I cook her steak. You cut it open. It's goddamn charcoal. I'm like, I don't see how you eat that shit right there.
Nah,
There's nothing to it.
It's gotta be bloody, man. I want to look like a vampire eating that thing. Blood
That's
running
it.
down my
Blood
face.
coming down my face. I'm like, this is so good. I'm a zombie. Yeah, I love it, dude. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let me ask you this: celebrity crush, Matt. Who is your celebrity crush?
I don't have any celebrity crush, but back when I was younger and I watched Aliens, I used to think Sigourney Weaver was super hot, especially in Ghostbusters too. So
When she got possessed. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff.
And when she was Zool, I was like, take me, Zool.
You was like, yes, I will. I mean, yeah, dude, I love it, man. It's good stuff. Mine was always Samia Hayek, dude, growing up. I was like, dude, she is just, even to this day, it's fucking goddamn just so beautiful. Eva Menendez is another one of mine, and Scarlett Johansson. And how can you not love Scarlett Johansson, right? So there's a couple of mine. Of course, I got more. Everybody does, but yeah. Let me ask you this: what series are you currently binge watching on TV? You and your wife, or you?
None. I am. Well, hold on here. I did watch the latest season of The Boys, and that's
Dude, fucking amazing
pretty-
show.
It's a good show, but damn, man. I guess season 3 was pretty graphic, but season 4 was definitely super graphic too. So that's yeah. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm too busy wrapped up in my adult responsibilities. Oh crap.
I feel you on there, man. So I keep messing with my head. So I bought these a while ago, man, and they're just uncomfortable. Like that's why I keep moving my headsets. Like I need to get me a
You're
new
good.
set of headsets for sure. What advice would you give your younger self, Matt?
Quit being so angry all the time. I was a very angry child, so don't be angry all the time.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Do you watch any type of road racing like BSB, Isle of Man TT, MotoGP?
So I'm not a big. So I'll catch the GP when we watch it on like HBO Max. I'll catch it whenever I think about it, but I religiously watch Moto America because that's our home sport, our team. Shit, our own country's version of motorcycle racing. And World Superbike. Don't ever really catch BSB unless it's like on YouTube for like the highlights. But those two, World Superbike and Moto America, I watch religiously.
So everybody, I say it again, 9 million times, Bennett'sBritishSuperbikes.com, and it's free to watch. You just go to Bennett'sBritishSuperbike.com, scroll down. Fridays is TSL timing, so it'll be up in the corner to say TSL timing. You click on that, you can only listen to it, but they go through all the classes. But Saturdays and Sundays, it's all live and it's all free. So Bennett'sBritishSuperbike.com, they had a race this weekend. They're 5 hours ahead, so they are done. You can go back on YouTube and catch them. But that's what I love. Yeah, it's free. It's absolutely amazing. I watch it all. I'm such a motorcycle nerd, bro. I watch the TT, BSB, World Superbike, ASBK, Moto America, you name it. If you can watch it, this guy does. Real quick, big shout out to my man Juju, Jillian Career, got a podium today in the British Talent Cup. So yes, let's fucking go, man. But yeah, I love I watch all that. So let me ask you this: who's your favorite road racer? Either growing up, two questions: your favorite road racer growing up and your favorite rider now.
My favorite rider now, it's got to be Matty Stoltz, man. Love that dude.
Yes.
Growing up, it had to be Nicky. Nicky was such an awesome guy to go out there and dude, he dominated in AMA, and then to go out and fucking win his championship in MotoGP. That was, some say it was because of Tony Elias, beating Rossi, but yeah, dude, got to be Nicky and Stoltz.
Yeah, touching on that real quick, 2006 was a spectacular season. Rossi first race of 2006, Tony Elias crashed him out. I forget what track they were at, Jerez, I think. Yeah, there's a lot that happened that season. You had Danny Perdosa take Hayden out. At the end of the day, Hayden had to be there. He had to do what he did. He had to pin the gas to get there and complete it. But everything come together in order to win a championship. There's so many pieces of the puzzle that's got to line up and come together. Tony Elise did kind of help it out because he did beat Rossi, which the 5 points he needed, whatever it was, yada yada. But at the end of the day, he's a 2006 world champ. First to be a champ, you got to finish all the races, right? Or finish most of the races anyway, and be up front. You can't just show up and be in the background and win a race. So you got to be there. So yeah, my favorite racer growing up, before I seen Valentino Rossi, of course it was Rossi. Back when the Grand Prix was 500 Grand Prix, right? Yeah, it was Mick Doohan. Mick Doohan was the fucking man back then, dude. For real, his pure determination, all the injuries he come back from, he didn't give a shit. He's like, fuck it, I want to win, I'm gonna win. Not I want to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to succeed. That alone, Casey Stoner reminded me of a lot of Doohan when he was racing too, right? But my favorite road racers now are all my friends racing, whether it's BSB, Moto America, ASBK, all my friends, Matt Hall, Brennan Triplett, Philip Hart, Alessandro DeMario, Rossi Moore, Isaac Woodworth, Avery, Ella Dreyer, all my friends racing, they're all my favorite riders. So those are all my favorite. And there's a lot. I got a lot of friends that race, so they're all my favorite. Yeah, I'd rather support you guys and buy your t-shirts and your hats and show you all the love than Pedro Acosta or anybody else that's made it and got millions of dollars and all that cool shit. So yeah, man. Plus I'm emotionally attached because you're my buddies, right? So it's a difference. Watching somebody now on TV that I don't know or never met, I'm like, yeah, I really don't care who wins as long as it's great racing, right? Yeah, so let me ask you this, Matt. What are your goals in racing? Like, what do you want to achieve in your race career?
So, being a professional mediocre rider, I think the best I could hope for is maybe to qualify for a Moto America round. Maybe I'd like to either do a Twins Cup or possibly go into like Stock 1000, but I don't know if that's going to ever happen. I'm getting older and I'm definitely not a good rider to start with.
Oh, come on, man. You're an absolute fucking legend, dude. And look at brain fart again. Jeremy McWilliams. Bro, he's like 60 out there just raping it, right? So yeah, that whole thing. Again, it's all mental, dude. You can do it, Matt. I'm in your corner. I'm cheering for you. Let's fucking make it happen, bro. We only live once. Fucking do it. Straight up. So going with that question, let me ask you this. What's the one thing you would go back and change in your racing career?
Probably not buy a Ducati and get a a Yamaha.
Buy another RC51.
buy an R1.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing bikes too, for sure. So obviously you work, I work, we got mortgages and all that good shit. So what do you do for a living, Matt?
Trucking, man. Trucking. I've been doing trucking for the last over 20 years now.
Nice.
I own a small company and move freight.
Nice. So are you like full 853-foot semi trucks, all that stuff?
Yep. Full shebang.
Full shebang. CDL, Class A, yada yada yada. Love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Dude, so are you superstitious? Do you have any superstitions? And what I mean by that is when you prepare for a race, do you right boot on before my left boot, yada yada yada?
No. The only thing I do to get ready to no, I don't know. I don't have any superstitions actually. No, I just throw my gear on and just get my mind right.
And prepare for battle, right? I always tell everybody going out, whether it's a club race, Moto America race, whatever it is, you're preparing for battle, right? So you're like, I'm real big into like the Greeks, right? The Spartans and all that shit, Ares and Odin and yada Valhalla. You're like, I love all that shit, right? So I see it as when you're lining up on the track, you're like the Spartans versus the 300 Persians or whatever it was, right? And in the Battle of Thermopylae, right? Let's get it. So I actually got an audio book all about the Battle of Thermopylae. That was really good, man. I love that shit. I'm a nerd. And the Egyptians and the pharaohs and the pyramids and all that. Dude, I'm a nerd. What can I say? I'm a fucking nerd. But I feel like, everything, you look at social media, you look at this, you look at that. I feel like so many people in this world are walking around closed-minded, which means they have a certain view on a certain thing, and anything outside of that, you're dead fucking wrong. Man, have an open mind. Do yourself a favor. Have an open mind. Grow yourself, right? Learn. That's the best thing I think you can do. And dude, open your mind. It'll open your mind up to other things instead of just being so tunnel vision on whatever subjects you're tunnel vision on, right? So
yeah. You're absolutely right. Be open minded and do yourself a favor and get out of your own way. Absolutely.
Facts, dude. 110%. So do you watch the Isle of Man TT at all?
Absolutely. These are psycho
race. Dude, it's my favorite race. So who's your favorite TT racer?
Oh, gotta be Guy Martin, man. Like I can't understand a word he says, but I love that guy.
Me too, man. He's fucking absolute. So do you know any history of I'm just gonna ask you the question. Right? In your personal opinion, who had the greatest ever TT comeback? The list is long, but I'm gonna give you two names to choose from, right? Mike Hailwood or Connor Cummings?
Hailwood.
To me, that's my favorite too, just because of the simple fact that you was gone for 11 years and you come back. It's not a closed circuit. We're talking about the TT and then wins over Phil Reed. It's just like, dude, absolutely fucking amazing. So with that, let me ask you this. This is another question. Oh no, this is going to be, I got about the TT. In 1961, Honda won their first ever TT. Who was the rider?
Oh, dude. Oh, I don't know.
Mike Hailwood.
Was it Hailwood?
Yep.
Oh shit, man.
Mike the bike, baby. All right, I got one more trivia question for you. What year and what track was the first ever Grand Prix race held at, which is now MotoGP?
Oh shit. Was it Assen?
Nope.
Was it Assen?
Nope.
I thought Assen was the oldest MotoGP track. I don't know.
They don't race.
Yeah, I don't know.
They took it off the calendar. A lot of racers boycotted that shit. They boycotted. They're like, we ain't racing here because it's too dangerous. I just gave it away.
Oh, the TT.
The TT. What year?
Yeah.
What year?
Oh, What, 1961? No, that was
1949.
49.
1949. A little history and trivia for you guys on the Pin the Gas podcast. Yeah, absolutely,
Dude,
man.
I went to school on that one.
Right. Okay. So I got two more questions, and then I'll let you give all your shout outs. I'll do all my shout outs. Do you like guns? We're a big family of guns in my family. Are you guys a gun people too?
Oh yeah, we got tons of them, man. Yeah, we got tons of them.
Me too. Like I bought my son his first AR-15 when he was 7, and everybody's like, "You bought your son an AR-15 at 7?" I'm like, "Why the fuck not?"
Oh my god, it's a weapon of war.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, dude, it's no. This is what I love, Matt. Is they're like, it's an assault weapon. I said, all right, hold up. I'm getting ready to school everybody right now on this. You can agree or disagree. Don't give a shit. It's my opinion. There is no such thing in this world as a fucking assault weapon. You can't go to any goddamn gun store and say, show me your assault weapons, because they don't exist. That is a term that the media come up with to make them sound like a bad weapon, right? So basically, I could pick up a golf club and smack Matt over the head with it, and guess what? That golf club is now an assault golf club. But you can't go
you
to a
got
golf
a fully
store.
automatic assault club.
Yeah, fully automatic iron 9, bitch. It's coming to get you, right? So yeah, all that's a myth. It's bullshit. There's no such thing as an assault weapon because they don't fucking exist. It's just a term that the people that hate guns come up with, and yeah, it makes them sound like it's not a good thing. But I guarantee you, if we didn't have guns and we're still doing bows and arrows and axes, it'd be the same shit. That's an assault axe. That's an assault bow and arrow. It's like, can't get out of here, that bullshit. But that's just my opinion. Agree or disagree, it is what it is. If you could choose one superpower, Matt Hall, what superpower would you choose?
It's going back in time a superpower?
Yeah. It'd be like time travel.
Time travel. I would choose time travel.
I like it, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, listen, Matt, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the podcast. We will definitely schedule another one and do a part 2 of this. I'm going to give the floor to you here in a minute. I'm going to give my shout outs and I'm going to let you end the show. First and foremost, I would just like to say thank you to everybody that likes and subscribes to my channel. If you have not yet, please go to my YouTube and Spotify, like and subscribe. I've been having a lot of issues here lately. I'm backed up 4 or 5 podcasts. I think this could be my number 6, to where it's not out on Spotify or iHeart. I'm having an issue with this. I'm trying to look for the word. I use Aquatune. So basically, after the podcast is done, I go to YouTube, copy and paste it, go to Aquatune. It extracts the audio from the video in MP3, MP4 format, and then I take it to Podbean and it disperses everywhere. I'm having a lot of issues with Aquatune. I done emailed them. We've been going back and forth. They're supposed to do a remote access to my computer tomorrow to figure out what the issue is, because I sent them several videos. After Rob Olivia had on, it just wouldn't work no more. Like it wouldn't upload, it wouldn't do anything. They said that they can get it to do it with the 5 videos I sent them, but I showed them on my computer the error codes that it keeps putting out. So they're going to do a remote access. So hopefully we'll get this thing sorted lately, and I'll be pushing out 6 podcasts at one time. You know, him, Matt Hall, Brandon Posh, Brennan Triplett, Philip Hard. There's a couple of them. So you guys stay tuned. Bear with me, please. But big shout out to Next Level Financial, Bison, of course. If anybody's looking for a leather suit, trust me, you want to go with Bison. They're the most amazing people in the world. Next Level Financial, Seth is absolutely amazing. You know, you want to make sure if anything happens, God forbid, your family's taken care of. You know, he helps you out on tax, dude, just all that financial stuff that's over my head. But yeah, look for him. Chef Eats, Matt Hall. Chef Eats is the most amazing food that you can buy and order, gets shipped to your door. The steak is juicy. The chicken is juicy. The food is absolutely amazing. And I don't get paid for any of this, right? This is all products and people that I believe in that are friends of mine that I would love to see their business grow and help them out too. And by me giving them shout outs and talking to them and bringing them business and people, that's what I'm here for, right? To help them grow. So Chef Eats is absolutely amazing. It is, listen, try it for yourself. I got a lot of my friends on it. Matt, have you ever had it?
I have. Daniel gave me one. He had one. We were at CMP, I believe it was. CMP or Road Atlanta. And I had one then.
What'd you think?
It was great. It was absolutely great. I usually don't eat stuff out of a box. And whenever I tried it, I was like, this is really good.
Bro, I'm telling you. So, like, if you just go to chefeats.com and you look up, the first meal you can get is $100 for 11 meals. Bro, and what you get, you can't even go to the grocery store and spend $100 and make 2 of those, maybe 3 of those, right? If that. But, dude, it's absolutely amazing, and it's super healthy. Don't have a whole lot of sodium in them. It's homemade food, and they have all kinds of different – you can do athlete meals. You can do no seasoning. It means there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Jeff Servin and his family are some of the greatest people that I've ever met, just like Matt Hall, just like all my other friends in the motorcycle industry. I love all you guys. So listen, if you're not on Chef Eats, go to chefeats.com, tell them Simcoe from Pin to Gas sent you, and he'll definitely hook you up. Big shout out to Flying Eyes Optics. Matt, this is a sponsorship that I actually got in Road America. So these sunglasses right here, they're made and assembled in Austin, Texas. So they're an American sunglasses, right? But dude, look at the arms. These are made to wear underneath your motorcycle helmet. Because I know Matt wears glasses. I wear contacts and glasses too, right? So if I have a helmet I need to order a dark visor for, I just got a clear one. When I do wear it, I got to wear sunglasses, right? I got Oakley's, Coaster, Ray-Bans, Maui Jim, blah, 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 that bullshit, right? But when you put them on underneath your helmet, they put pressure points on your head. It causes headaches and it's uncomfortable, this and that. These right here, they are so light. Like, I don't even notice them on my face. Matter of fact, my wife steals them from me all the time. Her best friend, when we go to the pool, as soon as I show up, she takes them off my face, gives me her girly glasses. So I'm in the pool all day long with these girly glasses on while she's rocking these Flying Eyes Optics. They are absolutely amazing. If anybody's interested, you go to flyingoptics.com, use the discount code PINTOGAS10, get 10% off, and then make them prescription too. They're absolutely amazing. I wear them all the time. I'm actually going to have them at Mid-Ohio. So when you guys see me, it's not just me talking shit. I will give them to you. You can wear them all day, give them back to me, tell me what you think. Fucking fabulous sunglasses. Big shout out to RD Racing out there in the UK. My buddy Jake Marsh, he just had a crash, so he'll up soon, mate. You'll be back out there setting lap records and winning again in BSB. Vet2 Track, for all my veterans out there, go look up Vet2 Track. Jim Whitman is absolutely amazing human being. What he does for our vets, getting involved in the sport of road racing and track days is nothing but love. So you guys go check them out. And last but not least, my man.
Hang on one second. I'll be right back.
No, go ahead, Matt. Last but not least, my man Michael Carrera at SFL Mini GP. His race program is absolutely, it's not a race program, it's a race program, rider program, blah, blah, blah. Amazing. All the kids in the future of our sport that he's pumping out of South Florida. Look at Avery Dreyer. Look at Ella, Isaac Woodworth, Andrew Wade. The list goes on and on. The cool thing about SFL Mini GP, all you got to do is register and sign up. You don't need helmets, boots, gloves, leathers, bikes, or none of that. You register, you show up. He provides all that for you. You can even have bike rentals there too. Say you want to try something before you go out and buy one used or new. You can rent the bike there, take it on the track, see if you like it. If you do, then you can go out and buy one, right? Same thing. If you want to get your kids involved in the sport, no better place in the world than SFL Mini GP down there in South Florida. Up here further on the East Coast would be the New Jersey Mini GP. So if you're in New Jersey, I don't know if they run it the same. I need to find that out. But even if you're 50, 60 years old and you ever wanted to drag your knee, look no further. SFL Mini GP, you just sign up, show up, they provide everything, and by the end of the day, you will fulfill your destiny, right? But yeah, listen, one more thing. Thank you guys so much for joining the podcast. I love all you guys. men, women, children, all you're absolutely amazing human beings. Thank you so much. And if you have not yet, please go hit that like and subscribe on Spotify and my YouTube. I will be on Apple soon. I need a new computer, which is in the works. So yeah, let's get it. Matt Hall, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, follow you, come to your next track day, meet you, support you, all that good stuff. Your race, sorry.
All right. We're going to be at Road Atlanta at the end of this month. You can find me on Facebook, and I have a YouTube channel where all I do is I throw up videos from the track. That's it.
I love it.
Very mysterious.
Very mysterious. And dude, he's a big RC51 nerd, like a lot of us are. So if you have any questions, hit Matt up. He'll definitely steer you in the right direction on what parts you need. What do you suggest you should do to your bike, out the gate and all that good stuff. So yeah, look him up. But anyway, it's Sunday. I hope the rest of you guys have a proper mega day. Spend it with your loved ones, because you never know when it's the last time you get to spend it with them. So do me a favor, give everybody a hug, tell them you love them, and put a smile on everybody's face. But I will see you guys soon. I have one more podcast. It's Tuesday. It's my first full-wheel race car driver, which I'm super excited about. And that's my last podcast before I go to Mid-Ohio. So if you guys want to meet and greet, I will be at Mid-Ohio, and I can't wait to see all my friends there next weekend coming up. And yeah, Matt, is there anything else you'd like to say before we get off here?
I guess just thank my family for being there, supporting me, my friends. And if anybody's thinking about racing, do it. Do it. Don't wait. Do it.
Do it, right? Listen, it don't matter whether you have a SR 1000 RRRR, CBR 1000 RRR, or fucking Honda Grom or a Z125. Listen, at the end of the day, you know what it's about? It's 3 letters. Fun. That's the whole point. Go out, have some fun, because if you're not having fun, you're not going to be fast. You're going to be miserable. Everybody wants to have fun. So do me a favor, get out there on them twos, pin that gas, and have fun. But ladies and gentlemen, absolute honor, Matt Hall. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. All right.